Take a moment right here, feeling like it's out gear. Driving towards the sun with a rose and a gun. Feel the wind in my hair, going nowhere I swear. Like an outlaw on the run, dangerous but it's so fun. Running, running, no, hold on, don't let go. Running, running, no, keep running. Told my boss that I'm done. Had no luck with my mom. Say, what will you do with your life? You know it's hard to survive. A cigar in my mouth, maybe guilty but proud. Now I'm an outlaw on the run, dangerous but it's so fun. Running, running, no, hold on, don't let go. Running, running, no, keep running.
Good evening, everyone. We've got an exciting night of Gold League of Legends action. We are determining playoff seeding tonight. I
Yeah.
am Jeeves here with Arlan.
What's up, Jeeves? Yeah, we're determining playoff seeding. This is it. This is huge. This determines whether or not you are going to be facing the best team, or if you're going to be facing the worst team and get yourself a nice, easy little coast into the upper bracket. So, we're getting into draft right away. IG taking away the Urgot, taking away the Victor, and Rivals responding with a Yorick and Ari ban, a meta pick and a not so meta pick. Very, very interesting stuff. I wonder what each team closes out this first ban phase with. Halili getting taken away.
Okay, so Lilia is one I really like because she found herself in the patch notes today and they buffed her healing.
Mhm.
So I think she's going to be a bit higher prio for top lane with healing
Yeah.
buffs like that. She becomes a lot more obnoxious.
Yeah, she's very. I was talking to my plays with the Hashnos earlier today. Super strong in this top lane, right? She's just kind of disgusting up there. She was already good in the top lane as a flex pick, but no one really took her up there. But now I think with these extra healing buffs and with extra damage on her W, I think it's gonna kind of move her up towards that area, especially since the damage increase was a base damage thing, which is like what
Ooh,
people really love when they go for a sort of tankish Lilia style build.
yeah. I am really intrigued by this Ezreal first pick. I the
Yeah.
champion I don't think has felt super strong so far this season. But have the other AD carries been nerfed enough that Ezreal Prio has shot up?
I think Ezreal's always had priority. Just as a if you don't have anything else to pick, like if you don't have another 80 carry you want to pick, like the Jinx, which I think IG might have slipped up on, you just pick Ezreal, right? He's a super safe, super scaling 80 carry. But something that I do want to highlight is with the Jinx pick, we won't be getting Misfortune or Zaya. Two 80 carries have shot up in so much priority just because they're pretty much the really good 80 carries in the current meta. Ash, I still think it should be up there as well, and Jinx, of course, should be respected, Aphelios as well. But they require a little bit more time to scale, a little bit more finesse. Whereas Misfortune and Zaya, they just kind of level, one item and then they're starting to do tons of damage. Trundle getting picked up for rivals as well as skirmisher. So now what does IG want? I don't know. Maybe definitely not the Volibear, definitely not the Sejuani, and definitely not the Hecarim. Maybe they scrap their support here. Oh.
I'm out. uh, I don't have any. Oh, okay. I'm seeing
Kha'Zix.
Kha'Zix.
Interesting,
Ooh,
interesting. That's a little bit of a spicy one. Not the greatest champion in the world in the Trundle, I think, especially since Trundle has that, auto tracking R. Even when Kha'Zix is in stealth, he's gonna get revealed by the fact that he's constantly taking damage, right? So
yeah.
not the greatest pick in the Trundle, but if he's able to pop off and farm and find these counter ganks on the Trundle, then it could do a ton of work. Shin picked up as well, so kind of negating factor for IG if they try to dive bot side or mid. Shin will always be there.
I saw a really interesting game a couple weeks back where the
Mhm.
team played Kazakh's jungle with AP Rakan mid lane. And they essentially
Ah.
just perma invaded and made life absolutely miserable for the enemy jungler.
That's that's interesting because Kha'Zix just isn't an invade champion, right? He's not the best invader
No.
in the world. He's a farm champion, and then he can invade, right? He needs his level 6 evolve. He needs his first item power spike, and then he can really start being a nuisance in the jungle. But so to play it like that, that's interesting. But we might see something similar to that, right? Viger getting picked up in the mid lane, a strong kind of wall in the mid lane, but he can get zoned off waves by longer range champions. He can get the priority force into him. Granted, they already banned away the Victor for himself, so they don't have that option. And with Rivals taking away the Corki, they don't have that long range option as well, or it's getting slowly whittled down. I think you just maybe go for potentially an Inibi here, just kind of stall up the lane with him.
The other thing I really like with Vagar is that he brings a lot of safety for Jinx. It's like
Mhm.
the two prong angle that he can provide a pick angle with the cage, or he can provide a lot of safety in a team fight for Jinx, just putting up that AoE wall that IG has to figure out a way to get through if they want to get to the Jinx.
Yeah, absolutely. So with that, we're gonna hop into this last pick ban phase. They took away the Gnar and the Nautilus from IG, and I like those a lot. I think I
Yep.
don't know. You have mid counter pick, and potentially you might have top lane counter pick, or sorry, support. Actually, you don't even have support counter pick. IG might have fumbled the draft just a little bit, right? Because
Yeah.
they can't. The only counter pick they have is mid lane. They have to blind. They pretty much blinded everything else. So they better be super comfortable on these champions, or else, draft edge is pretty much really gone in the favor of rivals here. But what do you pick for your support here, and what do you counter the mid lane with? I still think Syndra is a viable option, but you really need to have experience on the champion to play it.
Is Shen still a viable flex? Could that be like the big brain Shen gets sent into bot lane and the Bard pick says no? The Bard pick
Yeah.
says Shen's going up into top
He's
lane.
not he's not the best support in the world, but he can definitely be flexed down there if you have a crazy support who doesn't like to play Rel for whatever reason. But yeah, Bard gets picked up instead. So now they're looking for that kind of pick comp, and they really do need a mid laner to kind of facilitate that. They kind of need maybe a TF, maybe Vex, TF Vex, Rise, very good. Zoe as why? What? Question
Oh.
mark? Pink.
Uh
So they definitely have a poke comp with the Ezreal with the Varus, but then they have kind of a pick comp with the Kha'Zix and the Bard, and then they have a protect someone comp with the Shin, and also kind of a little bit of dive with him. But right now, IG is just all over the place, whereas rivals are very consistent with their picks, right? They're very much stand in the way of Jinx, stand in the way of Vigar, let them scale up, we win late game. And with the Braum as well, it really just cements that play style, right? So honestly, draft edge in terms of, win rate, like 65% to 55%, 45% of the time, I think for IG, I have to just give it to rivals right now. They're just absolutely stomped in this draft.
I like their comp. That Braum pick is so good when all the damage from IG is coming from the Ezreal and the Varus.
Mhm.
It just shuts down so much. Feels like a really strong pick there.
Yeah, it's just so hard for them to play into this Braum here. One thing you have to remember is when he's not using his Q, Varus is a relatively short range AD carry. He gets outranged by the Jinx. He gets outranged by most other AD carries, and that means he's gonna be in range of the Braum to, have Braum ult him. He's gonna be kind of in range of the Vigar if he's not careful. And more importantly, he's gonna be in range of Trundle Pillar. So he has to be very, very scared because he's not the Ezreal, right? He doesn't have an
Yep.
escape tool. Um, he's really just going to be sitting duck. But again, if comfort works for IG, then they can win this game because they have a lot of strong independent champions. But if they fail to get things going, if they fail to get the ball rolling on their multiple carry team, rivals is going to eat them for breakfast or dinner at this point, actually.
Do you think it's going to be the Ezreal mid or the Varus mid?
I I would like the Ezreal mid more than the Varus mid just because he has an escape tool and he can be real shifty with how he plays. But I think it's more than likely gonna be the Varus mid. I don't know. Either way, this Varus feels like a really dead pick, right? Because it's hard to play Varus into the Braum and Jinx, but it's also
Yep.
hard to play the Varus into the Vygar. Ezreal is okay into both. He's not the best in the both, but he's not the worst in the both. It's just super hard to play this Varus. It's really confusing pick, especially when they had so many other options, such as like if you want the poke AP 80 carry mid, Kai'Sa was open, right?
Yep.
Does the exact same thing, only better. So
So much better.
it's so much better. I guess you bring him for the lockdown and the ultimate, deniability of an area, but
Sure.
at the end of the day, the Varus just feels like a really, really rough pick, and it only works if he's a Smurf on Varus. If he's able to get consistent damage off, if he's able to find a lead in the early game somehow, then he's gonna win this game for his team. If he's not able to do that, GG's, that's all she wrote.
And I do think I can kind of see the angle. Like you said, Varus feeds into the pick style gameplay that they're looking for with the Bard and the Kha'Zix. Kind of there,
Mhm.
but like Varus is so immobile that the chains of corruption isn't like a roaming pick tool that you're gonna see that much.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's like you really want it. Like Varus is literally, quite literally picked with most of the time when he's picked in the past few metas, he's picked with a Tahm Kench. He's picked with something protective, right? You don't pick
Yep.
him where he's going to be left alone. If this bard leaves for too long, he's getting dove on repeat, right? Even if the bard is there, you have to consider that he's still getting dove on repeat because he's just an immobile AD carry, and with the Gale Force Nurse, I don't even think he built Gale Force in the first place, but with the Gale Force nerfs, it's going to be even rougher. Like that 20-second extra cooldown timer means you have 20 more seconds to get a kill on those Varus.
So just looking at because we are in client draft now, it is going to be the Ezreal mid.
Ooh.
So I like that into the Veigar. I think it's more consistent into the Veigar. But
Yeah. I don't think it does anything. I don't
okay,
think I I think it's better than the Varus just because it doesn't die on repeat, right? That's why I think it's better.
yeah,
But at the same time, it doesn't do anything. It's even if he hits a lot of Qs, if he hits a W and he goes in, then all of a sudden he doesn't have an escape tool, right? He has to always hold his E to escape. And if this Vigar just plays behind minions like he's supposed to and just last hit with Q and W, it's super hard for Ezreal to find consistent damage, even if he does get the priority. But then you have an Ezreal Kha'Zix trying to duel a Trundle Vigar like level 6, right? It's not the easiest thing in the world for these two. They're both super squishy, and the second Trundle gets some HP on him, and the second Vigar gets some AP on him. They're both going to be instantly popped. So really, really hard team comp coming up from GSG here. They really, or IG, not
IG,
GSG. Yeah, yeah. I don't know. The G's threw me off, but
yeah,
really hard team comp for them right here. Just so hard to play for themselves, and
yeah,
I don't know. They
yeah.
have
I
both
think
things come
that
through.
I think that's really the best word for it. It's a really tough comp to pull off, um, compared to the very straightforward like front to back comp coming out of Rivals.
Mhm.
Uh, yeah, there's a lot that needs to go very right for IG for that comp to work.
Yeah, a lot needs to work, and I don't know. It might be rough because I, I don't know. This one's hard to predict because, like I said, it's overwhelmingly in the favor of the rivals. But if you have the comfort, you can definitely make it work. But with that, we are going to be throwing it to a very quick break. Don't go anywhere, folks. This is Blue Otter League seeding for the semifinals and playoffs.
Welcome back, everyone. We are loaded into game. Got uh, rivals on the red side and IG on blue, and we have a 5-stack invade coming in through bot lane, but it is spotted and defused.
Very nice job from Paradigm Shift to just to see that it was coming and walk back there. Saved his own life. I man, if this Varus gets caught out there, even with the cleanse, even with the flash, I don't think he lives. Or if he does, it's 2 summoner spells blown. So very good job from him just to kite that out, walk back there. I know we were talking a little bit about it in the loading screen, but the runes, very interesting on the side of IG. Pretty standard on the side of the rivals here, but on the side of IG, it's kind of all over the place, right? You generally do see first strike on the Kha'Zix, so it's a lot better option than the electrocute. But the Bard going for electrocute in a lane where he's not really going to be able to poke too much, like his poke is going to be rather ineffectual into this Guardian Braum. Varus going for something like the first strike instead of trying to survive with his rune choice, maybe a fleet footwork just to try to survive the poke that will be coming out from the Jinx. As rules do go, press the attack nowadays. It is the normal rune to go. It's very strong. You do a ton of damage and you stack it so quickly. And then the last one, this one can be a little bit more debated, right? Swaggy P opting to go for the Grasp of the Undying into the Mordekaiser. Maybe he just goes Unstill Spellbook, right? Goes for the Unstill Spellbook, takes the teleport, gets Ignite early, and then he can look for a super easy kill with Noble Bark here. That could also be a huge, huge option as we see a little bit of trading down here on the bot side.
The range from the Jinx rocket is just completely denying Varus any chance to get the first strike proc. Like he got one when denying the invade. He got a nice Q through some people, so he got a bit of gold, but that's kind of it.
Yeah, super. Like I said, it requires everything to go really well to win this game. But even if things go well in this early game, they're still on a timer, right? IG is really on a hard timer because if they don't beat them down by the time Jinx gets 3 items or by the time Vigor gets 2 items, you just kind of have to say GG. We'll get him next time.
Ooh, I just actually realized Varus went tier first.
Ooh, so he does even less damage. Yeah. That's a little bit rough there. But again, if he's able to tech it out somehow, it'll definitely work. But we see a roam coming up here on the top side along with a gank. Noble Bark is in the area. What the heck is going on? Ooh. Roaming Ezreal?
Oh, and they catch Eyesight in the tri-bush, the E damage, the jump in from Kha'Zix, and first blood goes to Noble Bark.
It's going to be a flash from Swaggy P.
Onto Sikorza. The E comes in, he flashes out, goes for the pull, pops the shield. Ezreal still does damage, even though Kha'Zix was tanking the turret. That's 2 quick kills.
2 very important kills, right? They both went on to your carries, right? They went on to Swaggy P, they went on to Zerfire, and even it's a little bit mitigated, right? You get 2 kills, you get first blood and a little bit of damage. You can get 2 summoner spells out from your opponent, but look kind of what you had to use to get those. You had to use the Ignite and the flash from the Ezreal, plus the flash from Noble Bark and the flash from Swaggy P. Even with that 1,000 gold lead that they're able to secure from it, I don't know if that's necessarily what you want to do, but we do see this Ezreal just all over the place. A roaming Ezreal is not what I was expecting to see here.
And he's only down 3 CS to the Veigar, who was in lane, so didn't lose much. Didn't lose any plates. Is in a really good spot.
But now you have to look at how they respond to this. What's their map movement going to be like, right? So again, we see him E in, and he just takes not too much damage, but if he had hit that W, so much damage from the Veigar coming out. But look at the map movement from the Trundle, right? We see that he is sticking more towards that bot side route. He's staying on his route, and he's playing just to farm bot to top, whereas the Kha'Zix is also kind of matching that, but he has more camps up. His clear is a little bit more natural, right? And that's one thing you kind of have to look at to see who's the better jungler. Is their clear more natural, or is the other one just that much more forced? But potentially a lane gank coming down from Trundle here as a stun lands.
Shield comes up from Braum. There's the blast cone. Trundle comes in. The frozen domain. The pillar is there for the slow flash out from Paradigm Shift.
That's going to be huge. That's something that they can take advantage of.
Heal out of Righteous too.
Not bad, not bad. That makes it a little bit better, but still, that's something they can take advantage of on this Varus. The flash getting used there, That's going to be huge. You re-gank that right now or in 5 or in a
Oh,
few seconds. Maybe when you have ultimates and it's a lot easier, but either way, that this Varus is feeling the pressure, right? If Vigar is able to get that priority, able to get the boots, pops the Predator, starts roaming, this dude's gonna be hurting quite a bit. But for now, he's able to poke out this Jinx.
lane went an interesting way because Swaggy P didn't go back after that gank came in. Presumably, just didn't have a good amount of gold, and so Sakroza was able to push it in and just really bullied him out and getting a good back now.
Absolutely, but this is where everything starts to get super important. The Drake has spawned. It's about 6 minutes. People are starting to hit level 6s. Azura Fire sees the game coming from a mile away. Insight's down a little bit of XP to this Kha'Zix, but Kha'Zix didn't clear the camp, so they're actually still relatively even in CS. You know, about a camp lead for Noble Bark, but we're really looking at this Kha'Zix to start getting the invade on, starting getting some damage under his belt. He does have the Dirk. That's going to be huge, but he needs to accelerate this game more. It's too passive for him. He needs to really turn it into a Crown Fiesta.
It's not really a good place for him to gank. Like he could show up in top for the Mordekaiser before like that champ really gets going. It's not where you want to be with the Drake being up. So we've got an invade on the blue side jungle. Eyesight taking a bunch of damage from Eyesight. The True Shot Barrage, it goes through. I think it actually might have tagged Sakroza.
They have the
Dragon
advantage.
gets started by IG.
Yeah, look at the damage. It's pushing so much damage on the Noble Bark.
The Dragon's low, but there's the Stand United coming out.
Ooh, it gets canceled.
First kill down. Veigar got the kill. The Dragon went down. Paradigm Shift goes down too. And okay, Dragon for 2 kills.
But you have to look where the kills are placed, right? And you have to look at what exactly was used. They use Swaggy P's ultimate, so that's a really long cooldown, about a 2-minute cooldown that they just no longer have. Ezreal eat in thinking he would have that shield and just didn't have it at the very end, so he died for nothing. And then, but like I said, look at where the kills went. To a Jinx, to a Veigar at 7 minutes.
Yeah.
Yikes! Right, that's not good at all. Even if they get the Drake, it's a huge laning buff, right? I love Ocean Drake in the early laning phases. It's so nice, but it's not going to make up for the fact when they start one-shotting you, because that's what the Veigar is going to do. Maybe the Jinx, because you will have a little bit of time between trades where you can regen some of the health, but that Veigar, if he decides to go all in on you, he's going to go all in and you're going to instantly get popped.
And the Predator boots have been picked up now after having gone back initially and got picked up the Tear of the Goddess. So especially with the Lost Chapter, we're hitting a good spot for OTFF now.
Yeah, hugely important spot. So now we just, honestly, they just need to keep scaling. They just need to respond to the plays from the Ezreal. They just need to respond to the plays from Noble Bark, and they will win this game. Like, they didn't respond at first. They just weren't ready for it, but now they're just gotten a lot better at just kind of keeping them in lane here.
And we've got a gank in mid lane. True Shot Barrage goes wide. Yeah, the flash.
Very nice flash to keep himself alive from OTFF right there. That if he didn't flash, he's dead on the site, right? Because he's gonna get red smited by Kha'Zix. He's gonna get hit with the True Shot Barrage. So much damage just instantaneously. That's one thing that the Ezreal Kha'Zix has over most of these other characters, is their damage is really centered toward that early mid game, with a little bit of damage coming out from their late game, but a lot of their damage just in that mid game if they're able to get ahead. On the other side, if they're not able to get ahead, they're very much lacking in the damage department. Jinx Rocket is getting shot.
Super Mega Death Rocket flying across the map looking for Swaggy P, and it lands.
But it does no damage. Interesting usage of the ultimate as the ultimate comes out from Paradigm Shift. Oh no.
Oh.
Braum blocked the wrong way with his shield there. He didn't use it exactly facing. You really want to face the target you're going to be blocking with, right? So just throwing out the shield just is enough. You have to be on point with which way you're going, and because of that mistake, they just weren't ready to respond to the rest of the fight. As we see, Azura Fire shifting out there. It's going to be a 3v3 for this Rift Herald.
And I say it's super low. Action the ignites onto Eyesight. The subjugate goes down. Ezreal goes into the Death Realm, getting run down. Noble Bark takes out OTFF. Eyesight gets killed by Rin. And now the Stand United comes in to save Azure Fire, and Sekroza does get that kill in the end, but goes down to Noble Bark.
Ooh, this is really bad coming up from the side of Rivals. Why do we contest? You know, they're the early game team. It's kind of natural that they just get the early game objective, especially when that contest, not only was it so scattered, it was really just not on point. As Noble Bark gets so low, force a smite.
Comes in.
Jeez, that was scary. Righteousness, very nice shot on these Jinx Rockets, able to hit him from downtown. But back to my point, Rivals, just don't contest. You're right. You guys are fine. You guys outscale. You guys just have to play the game and you'll win it. Right? It's so easy for you guys to do so. But really good job from coming up from the side of IG, just kind of force them into these fights that they don't want to take. Right? They're just really adapted, just being there, being a nuisance, and forcing them to do things that they shouldn't want to do. But they will be able to pick up this Rift Herald in the end. So even with the 3-to-1 trade, kind of a trade back if they're able to get the gold onto the right person.
The biggest problem I have with Rivals contesting that is that Eyesight hadn't gone back to base in way too long and was just sitting on a longsword and a refillable potion. They went, after they died, they went back, they bought Sheen, the Hearthbound axe, and a ton of items because it was like 2,000 plus gold. So Eyesight was super ridiculously weak going into that.
Oh, Bark, what are you doing, buddy?
Chopper Barrage flies through and shut down, goes to OTFF with the Primordial Burst.
Even with first item, it's not first item mythic, right? It's first item Yomu's Ghostblade, which is what a lot of assassins go for. You know, Zed comes to mind, Talon comes to mind, but I still think that if your team's going to be playing around you like they are going to be playing around this Kha'Zix, just go for your mythic and just be even stronger in those team fights, be even stronger in those pick fights, because that's really more of a supportive item.
Oh, Chains of Corruption to disengage.
Oh my god.
And the long range poke that the Essence shit, Arcane shift in from Azure Fire.
Nice. Yeah, they just managed to poke him down before he could even get in range. This is kind of one of the weaknesses that they do have. The advantage that IG has is they have the range advantage, right? They have the ability to poke from afar. But, you know, if that poke isn't acted upon, it can get really rough. But I think OTF is playing the perfect champion. Ooh, that got close to being stolen. Jeez, the Bard ultimate comes out and gets missed.
Flies through. Just some poke.
Oh, righteousness.
Oh, Noble Bark looking for it. Eyesight's there. Noble Bark pops the ult. Looks like they're just leaving. Yeah.
And then Righteousness gets picked up in the bot lane. Very nice Bard play right there. But one thing I think that they have the advantage of, really nice pickup with this Veigar here, is that they're just able to build tank on the Veigar, right? You know, Veigar V2 is advocating for that tank build after 2 items, and I think he's absolutely right about that. I don't think you need a lot of AP items on this guy to deal a ton of damage as the stun comes through. Very nice. Probably saved his life there from Rin.
Okay, I think that was just a zoning ult to save the tower.
Yeah, it's really hard for them to make a play. They didn't make a play when Paradigm Shift didn't have ultimate, so Buddy has flash again now, and it's so hard for you guys to do something if you aren't able to let flash first, or you're able to make it just so incredibly uneven for them. But Barbarian taking so much damage here.
Comes out, the zap slows down Rin.
Does man keep him alive at the end of the day, so yeah, they're just back to square one. They still have the Rift Herald, about a quarter left on that usage timer. But I haven't seen like an opportunity. And the plates are already gone, so you're not going to get any gold out of it unless you just take a turn and use it for tempo, use it for push.
But like realistically, we're getting in mid.
Yeah, realistically, do you want to use it for push? Do you want to push your lanes up into unsafe spots? I'm not so certain about that.
Oh, fight down in bot. Oh, nice jump over the traps by a Noble Bark.
Very nice flash from Paradigm Shift just to keep himself alive. Or not Paradigm Shift, from Barbarian there just to keep himself alive. But Paradigm Shift's going to be taking this turret here. A missed auto comes
in. It's the exhaust down onto Righteous. It's a 4v3 so far. There's the Stand United, and Ezreal's in the river. Stand United completes. There's a flash in from Noble Bark.
Interesting flash, but
disengage from Rivals now.
Rivals very smart about that. But look at what Swaggy P has to go back to. So it's going to be Mordekaiser just blind pushing that turret, just going to be smacking away at it, doing a ton of damage, forced to teleport out. Very nice job from him. So, you know, they lost a turret, but at the end of the day, they got some summoner spells out of it. They got some crucial ultimates out of it. So I can't complain too loudly from the Rivals. And if anything, losing that tier 1 kind of favors them. Now it gives them a really super safe lane for the Jinx to farm or for the Veigar to farm. They just have to freeze that wave, you know, at the tier 2. Hover that side of the jungle, and they will be so chilling. But if they're not able to do that, if they just kind of turn it into a dangerous lane by leaving it alone, this game could get a little bit rough.
I just realized we've got kind of a Kaisa build coming in. Oh, the blast cone over from Braum. The flash away by Azure Fire. There's the Braum ult coming through. Jinx damage coming out. They're hitting minions, though, not proccing the Braum passive, but there it goes. And Barbarian gets the kill, but gets taken out in return.
Righteousness is... I don't know what is going on with his autos. He did that first against the Varus when Varus was taking the turret, and now he did it again against Azure Fire, just hitting minions instead of hitting the Ezreal. I think if he killed the Ezreal or stunned the Ezreal a lot sooner, it not only does it save Barbarian, it allows the Jinx to pick up the kill, right?
Yep.
I don't know. Maybe he has like target champ, or maybe he's just like clicking right, and it's just hitting minions. Either way, they need to figure this one out quick because that's not a good look for the Jinx just to miss these free kills.
Especially like that was on a platter in the 3v1 right there. Oh, and coming in
right away.
Might by Noble Bark.
Yeah, this is what you have to do when you have a Bard. You just let the Varus wave clear mid, and then you just take the Bard, you take Noble Bark, and you just roam around the map and cause problems. How to beat this? Either you have more numbers when they start to cause problems in that jungle, or you just gank them mid whenever they decide to leave the Varus alone. And again, it's a Varus, right? You were speaking a little bit, it has the Kaisa build coming out. It is going to be the AP Varus, so a lot more damage than Lethality Varus, but I don't like the Nashor's Tooth at all. I think you should just be rushing your Mythic, go for that Luden's Echo, something like that, and you'll find a lot more profit coming out from that. But either way, it is about 4,000 gold lead coming out from the IG. So like I said, comfort is coming out here, and they're just able to win over the meta so far.
We are getting some setup from IG now because the Dragon's up in 20 seconds.
Ooh, yeah, super important. Drake coming up, and if things go wrong, this could be the game right here.
Bark does catch CB the Barbarian, gets out with the shield to the Jinx, but those two have to get the heck out. There's the Bard ult coming through the passage. Oh, and the E in from Azure Fire gets the kill.
Nice little shot from downtown, was able to pick up that kill, making it look easy on the Ezreal here. Yeah, and with that, they're just going to be able to find the pick, find the poke, and find the damage, pick up this Drake here, and they're going to be on soul point with this. I guess it's a little bit of a consolation prize to pick up a 18-minute Rift Herald and try to use it to find some pressure on the map to grab a potentially sneak Baron or take a potentially good fight, but I don't think so. Like I said, when you're into a Shin, right, he can be everywhere at whenever he has ultimate, right? So it's just a hard thing to do, but
and Contesta's coming in. Running for it. CB the Barbarian has Kha'Zix on him. Noble Bark is running forward. The Zap comes through for the slow. There's the stun with the Braum passive. The Gale Force in. The Rockets are coming out. The Stand United is there.
Oh, the damage.
In with the Predator. Trundle's in the middle of 4 Paradigm Shift gets eyesight. Sakurza gets one back. Paradigm Shift goes down. Now the damage is coming through, but Sakurza is exhausted. The shutdown by OTFF onto Azure Fire.
That's why we picked Braum, or sorry, not Braum, sorry, Veigar at the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen. Just the amount of damage he's able to do, clean up crew on that fight, came in, picked up 2 kills, 2 important kills onto the carries of the team. Sakurza and OTFF. That one's a hard one. I don't know why. Probably because my eyesight is amongst the worst in the world. Either way, it's so bad. They're able to just find that little pickup, and now it's looking at the game state's a little bit better. Still have the objective bounty, so still more than they only disappear. I think at like 3,000 gold difference or 2,000 gold difference, but still more than enough for these to be spawning and to be showing. So, like I said, you just have to keep getting farm on the Jinx, keep getting farm on the Veigar, and this game will be theirs. But speaking of farm, a farm difference, Paradigm Shift is able to outfarm the Jinx so spectacularly well. In addition, with more kills, the Jinx is hurting quite a bit.
Yeah, almost a 30 CS, closer to 20 CS lead for the Varus. Super interesting with how we kind of expected that lane to play out,
Mhm.
but honestly, just reflective of a good job by Paradigm Shift. They clearly were comfortable in what they were doing down there.
Yeah, absolutely. They were just so comfortable, so fine with playing this out, so fine with doing so much damage. And now they're going to be going for that lost chapter here. But the real question is, do they go for the crown of the Shattered Queen, or they go for something a lot better than the crown? But that remains to be seen as we see a potentially fight
Oh,
here in the mid
there's the
lane.
pillar, and just walking away. Double bark is
Ooh,
there.
that Ezreal ultimate from downtown.
Oh, Righteous gets chunked.
So incredibly chunked here. Forced to back off, but like I said, both teams just kind of contesting around this mid lane. Nothing really to write home about. And it will be the Ezreal build. This is where, again, we kind of decide who's a good Ezreal or not, right? Do they go for the crown of the Shattered Queen, or they go for something a little bit better? They don't really need that survivability. They see more damage to keep trying to burst out Vigar, burst out Jinx with this poke. If they don't have it, you're just going to kind of lose the game as we see
Double
the play
bark
being
goes
made.
in with the ult. The shield comes up by Barbarian. Vigar is making a break for it, and Sakroza did not get the message to dip, so gets slowed down. Takes Bard into the death realm. Now they are stuck there. The magical journey takes him to the other side of the wall. There's the Bard ult.
There's a Shin ultimate
For
as well.
safety,
The Mark jumps
Stand
in.
United comes through a big Bard ult, or Braum ult. Paradigm Shift does get Sakroza. Azure Fire takes out OTFF. The Subjugate is in, and Barbarian gets chased down and gets killed. Now they're diving the turret. And oh my
man.
god, Righteous just getting chunked out.
Ooh,
The flash
Paradigm.
in from Paradigm Shift, and Eyesight gets the revenge kill. Azure Fire taking turret shots, gets a second one. So Eyesight picks up the double.
That would have been such a clean fight if they just hadn't thrown at the very end of it. They were playing it so well, juggling the aggro, waiting for the Shin ultimate to almost complete before Noble Bark jumped in. Just juggling the enemy aggro, dropping it as they necessarily needed to. Really good job by Rin to ult himself in the Death Realm, so he stayed golden when he came out and didn't get stunned right away and get bursted out. Very good job just from them, just the way they use their ultimates. And it's right before the Drake, right? So this is going to be a huge, hugely important fight. 40 seconds, 37 seconds. They need to get down there. They need to start dropping vision. They need to make a play. They need to do something from rivals, because right now they're just getting absolutely smacked around. 6,000 goal lead in Noble Mark, looking on the angle, looking for this Jinx.
Oh, coming in on
There
the
he
backside.
goes.
There's the Kha'Zix ult, the flash out from Righteous. Or no, that was Gale Force out.
And that's why we pick Bard at the end of the day. Protects your turrets using the ultimate from the Rift Herald, but it's gonna be Paradigm Shift.
Dive in,
Buddy's on the
there's
wrong side.
Hagar Cage, and Eyesight gets another one. Noble Bark is getting zoned out by the Braum. Swaggy P takes out Eyesight. There's the Mordekaiser teleport in, takes Swaggy P into the Death Realm, pulls him back. Is chasing him down, gets the taunt over the wall.
Ooh,
Everyone is just watching and waiting for that to come out. Noble Bark gets slowed.
Yeah,
Looks like it.
I don't think they're particularly playing these fights well from IG, but they're just smacking around with their money bags, right? They're just beating them up
Yeah.
with their wallets and OTF.
Oh, TF getting chunked out. Azure Fire gets the kill. Noble Bart's in with the Kha'Zix ult. There's the Stand United
the
coming
Bard
in.
ult.
A nice
The Bard
stun
Q.
from Bard.
That Bard Q is absolutely smurfing. With that, they're going to be able to grab Infernal Soul. So even with IG not particularly playing fights the best, rivals just playing them that little bit worse, that they just aren't able to find the angles on it. And as their fire just running down OTF at the end of that fight there to restart it, get another pick, get some gold back in their pockets. And it's looking like a rough one from rivals here. I'm not sure how you come back and win this. Like I said, you just need to keep scaling, need to keep farming, but they just don't have the gold in the right places. They just don't have the gold in the pockets. And Jinx just now reaching close to 2 items here against a 3-item Varus and a 2.5-item Ezreal. It's not looking that close.
Yeah, Jinx has had absolutely no safety to do the damage she needs to, between Noble Bark getting really good flanks and just the oppressive amounts of poke coming in from Azure Fire and Paradigm Shift. Paradigm Shift did go Ludens. Oh, gets the stun. Oh, nice Bard ult to negate so much damage. They're going for it. There's the cleanse out of Paradigm Shift. They're running away. Eyesight is getting just
Oh,
absolutely
no.
murdered by Azure Fire. Now there's a taunt in. OTFF goes down.
They get in the game here.
Righteous goes down. They don't have minions. Otherwise, I feel like
The
this could
minion
be
wave,
an
no, the
inhib.
wave is pushing. It's at least an inhib, maybe a tier 4 here. Maybe at least one tier 4, and if they wanted to, if they felt ballsy enough, they could go for the end 100%. They have so much money, 10,000 gold lead. Yeah, they could definitely do something. Noble Bark jumping in there. I don't think you want to go that far without your team, but I appreciate the effort.
Shot barrage comes through, but the Croza is tanky enough, and CB puts up the shield. Yeah, it looks like they're backing out after the inhib.
Yeah, very nice job coming out from this side of IG, and now they just start rotating over towards that Baron. They're going to be able to pick that up, no problemo. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, I think they could start to look to strangle the noose, you know, start tightening the noose rather, start strangling out rivals here. And without rivals finding a good pick, I don't think they can do this.
Blast cones into Rin, but Azure Fire is there to shut down any challenge to this Baron.
How much damage he does. Yeah, that's a single Q. He doesn't even have Shireldia's grudge yet. Like I said, they need to find a pick, but how hard is it to find a pick into Ezreal just constantly poking you? How hard is it to find a pick when you don't have a pick team comp or too many pick elements on your team? It's gotta be the Bard ultimate.
The Bard ult coming in. That's Sakroza and CB. Oh my god, a beautiful two-man stun coming out of that.
Rin absolutely smurfed that one. Abzora just flashing in over the wall, does not care.
Oh, Azure Fire gets shut down by OTFF. The Veigar ult into Zonia. Double Bark goes in with the Kha'Zix ult. They're chasing down Eyesight. The Super Mega Death Rocket goes wide. And here comes Swaggy P with a minion wave.
Yeah, they're particularly looking to end the game now. They have another one as well on the way. It's only Eyesight, it's only the Jinx.
Oh, the Chains of Corruption goes wide.
Barbarians are back up 10 seconds on Sir Croza. They have to do something now. They have to save the game. They're going to be losing at least one turret, but Paradigm Shift
down there.
is forced on.
In to heal in. Paradigm Shift gets out.
So much damage coming out from the return.
All the damage coming out. Sakroza is walking up, wants to take this fight, gets Paradigm Shift with the pull back into Q.
Paradigm Shift walking a little bit too far up there, buddy. You weren't safe. You just used your flash. There was no way you could walk up there. And good thing for them that Sakroza got it. Nope, doesn't find anyone. Okay. But good thing for them that Sakroza gets it. But at the same time, it's still a nice shutdown going over to the side of a Mordekaiser. If Mordekaiser gets fed as well, he can be a super...
TFF getting caught. Noble Bark is caught in the cage. Does have the ult.
Oh, he had Edge of Night, interestingly enough. Why didn't he just walk through the cage?
Huh.
He could just walk through the cage and he would have been fine. But I see what he's trying to do. He's just crossing his T's, not in his eyes. He didn't want to walk through the cage and get Everfrosted. So respectable situation. But right now, it's just IG waiting to end the game. Even with the subpar draft, even with the odds stacked against them, Comfort just wins at these ranks, folks, and they're just able to show us how comfortable they are in the Ezreal, how comfortable they are in the Kha'Zix, how comfortable they are in the Bard Varus. And in the top lane, Swaggy P hasn't died once, even though he did get beat up quite a bit by this Mordekaiser. He was able to stay even and not die at all. So rivals, they have to try and stall this game out that little bit more so Veigar can scale.
I feel like if they're able to stall it out the 90 seconds to the Elder Drake and somehow take the Elder Drake, that could be a big enough swing, but that's asking a lot when behind 12k.
Oh man, I didn't even know it was 12k. Yeah. Yikes.
Hey,
oh man,
top outer turret goes down.
It's huge. But yeah, how do you even bring this one back? Like I said, you just have to look for picks, but you don't have a pick team comp.
Gets caught by the Chain of Corruption, and there's the Q from Varus. Paradigm Shift gets another.
Nice block. Oh, but with Shin ultimate.
United comes in, Noble Bark gets stopped, and then OTFF puts up the cage. CB goes down. There's OTFF in the the Bard ult and then goes into his own Zonias before Paradigm Shift kills him.
And with that, ladies and gentlemen, this has to be the game. There's no way. It's too much damage, too many minions, too little time. And that's going to be Rivals getting taken out by IG.
Yeah.
Very nice stuff.
Ooh, really clean game from IG. The draft, like you said, the draft looked kind of sus, but we can really see why IG from the very beginning of the league looked like one of the contenders for the top. There were a lot of people in like Otter Talk saying they were one of the best teams in the league, like best team, one of the best teams in their division, like top 2 for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But like
Yeah,
they were fighting for top of the league.
Yeah, they just made it look so easy. The way they just went in there, drafted whatever the heck they wanted,
Yeah.
and smacked them down. Like like their strategy was that simple. They just draft whatever they wanted, and they just won through pure player skill. I think that's great, but getting into the other groups, facing other groups as we get into the seeding, that could be a little bit rough, right? Because the other teams, the other top teams might be equal to them. They can't just keep with these kind of weird drafts where they just draft whatever the heck they want. But either way, they played it well. They played it well. So GG's to IG and Rivals. Hopefully they can bring it back, and so they're not seeded at the end of the seeding process.
Yeah. So with that, we are going to throw it to a quick break. Hopefully, a quick break. I am not sure which other games have finished, but we're going to take a look and get set up for game 2, which is, I believe, I think we've got Conduit coming up. Conduit versus Aftermath, which should be a really exciting game. So don't go anywhere, folks.
Take a moment right here, feeling like it's out gear. Driving towards the sun with a rose and a gun. Feel the wind in my hair, going nowhere, I swear. Like an outlaw on the run, dangerous but it's so fun. Running, running, no. Hold on, don't let go. Running, running, no. Keep running. Running low, keep running. I'm running low, keep running. Like an outlaw on the run. Dangerous.
Welcome back, Blue Otter fans. We are here with draft for our game two of our night. This one between Conduit Esports and Aftermath. I am once again Jeeves here with Arlan.
What's up, Jeeves? We're coming back into it. Conduit, Aftermath, both teams fighting for that seeding position. And already we're going to get right into it. Conduit taking away the Nocturne, taking away the Kane, taking away some junglers. Aftermath taking away the Poppy and Trundle. More junglers, well, Poppy can be played top, of course, but more than likely going into the jungle role. If you were to pick a Poppy, right, she's just so good into those dash champions. The Lee Sin, the J4, just so incredibly strong. But Vex getting banned away as well. You have to wonder what Aftermath chooses to ban away here, and it's going to be the Vigar. So, what does Conduit pick up? They have a lot of strong first pick options, and it's going to be the Corki.
Okay. Yeah, Quirky never really went anywhere. It's a super strong pick. We just saw it banned in the last match we had on stream. So it's a good prio mid pick. Does really similar things to what we just saw IG do with the Ezreal with the Varus. Uh, just with big team fight package utility too.
Absolutely. So a lot of poke coming out already, and then there's the RA, good neutralizing pick into the Corki, makes him actually really scared, right? He already plays really far back in the lane most of the time, but this one just kind of ensures that he plays super far back. It really forces him to be very conservative with his mana, because if he doesn't have enough mana for this Valkyrie, he's gonna die. And if he's not on point with his Valkyrie, the charm's gonna hit, and he's gonna die. Super hard thing, but potentially a Lilia getting picked up from Aftermath. This would be the first time we see this buff Lilia come out into play, and that's going to be the Lilia
Okay.
now. Is this the Lilia top? Is this the Lilia jungle? Hopefully, it's the top. That way, you can have an AD jungle and really make it difficult to choose for Conduit. Do we build Tabbies up here? Do we build Merc Treads? It's more than likely going to be Merc Treads if it does Lilia jungle. But Amumu getting picked into that, just
Ooh.
they just don't want her to dance at all, man. They're just gonna pick up the misfortune
Yeah.
too. Ah, yeah. That's a one
Okay.
comment if I've ever seen it.
I have seen there are some people who are holdouts still running a Mumu support, especially with a misfortune in bot, so that they can keep doing that the big curse of the sad bullet time. I
Curse of the
suspect
sad
it's
all the time.
yeah, I suspect it's still gonna be jungle, but
Mhm.
some flexibility possible.
Yeah, and I'm not sure about the Lulu blind here. I think Aftermath probably should just grab an 80 carry counter pick here. Maybe get the Zaya for themselves. A very strong, very, very strong 80k right here. Maybe they grab the Ash just to try to poke out Misfortune and kite away from the Amumu. I don't think Ash into Amumu is great. It's pretty bad actually, but I don't know. Jinx as well is still an option. Now they're just going to start to ban away the super strong 80 carries here. And I guess with the Lulu, you have the option for a Kog'Maw for a Twitch, or even a Vayne, but I think Vayne's probably the best one you're going to get.
What I would really like from the Ash pick out of Aftermath is that it brings CC, which is something they're severely lacking with their first three picks. Like they've got the Lilia ult and the RE charm, but that's it so far, and the polymorph. Um, but Ash would give a lot of pick potential, CC, some lockdown for them to have a bit more control over the map.
And they need that map control because the way things are shaping up from Conduit, they win team fights hands down. just the way things are shaping up, Aftermath and the Conduit, they're gonna win the team fight. So they need some sort of map control. They need some form of being elsewhere. So they just if they lose the fight at Drake, they're only losing like two members, and then they're able to take turrets on the top side, they're able to take turrets on the bot side, they're able to take neutral objectives on the other side of the map. They're able to do something else. But with the Jinx picked up, they're saying, you know what, we'll match you tit for tat in this team fight. We're just gonna scale and we're gonna just deal with the misfortune as she comes. And that can be an okay strategy, but they don't really have a tool to deal with the misfortune. There's no Trundle to threat a pillar, there's no Braum to block it. Right now, this misfortune is just kind of free fire, and this Vel'Koz getting picked up means they're gonna be doing so much damage so much in these team fights. Just the two lasers, and that's gonna be Wukong coming out from
Okay.
Conduit. Now with the bus coming through for Wukong, but he's looking a little bit busted. So what do you pick into it? Not a tank. Please don't pick a tank. You pick another bruiser. You just want to try and fight him out. Not sure who I would pick here. There's a few options. Maybe a Tryndamere would come through very nicely.
This is the second game in a row that Conduit is going
Mm,
for the Wukong top. So they clearly Kappa Crusader really liking that pick seemingly.
absolutely. And I say ooh at the Orin, but I'm kind of 50-50 on it because on the one hand, it's a tank into Wukong, and Wukong kind of thrives into tanks. But at the other hand, it's Ornn, and Ornn is very much busted right now. Absolutely just stomping in like 4 or 5 rolls. He is just unmatched. Like he is just so very good. So considering how good he is buffed Wukong enough to beat him? That's kind of my benchmark right now. Is it good enough to beat Ornn? Then is a good top laner, right? So I don't think buff Wukong is enough to beat him out of lane, but if he's a better player, obviously, Kappa Crusader can play some mind games with his clone.
Yeah, I think it's really tough for Wukong to get kills in the 1v1 unless Ornn just really grossly steps out of line. But it's up to who can find the better team fight presence between the Cyclone and the Call of the Forge God, which it's so much easier for Ornn to get just good things done in team fights. But the Wukong brings so much more damage that it can be really problematic for this very squishy aftermath comp.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's just really what are we looking at? Well, we're looking at two different. I don't know, a little bit of like it's weird. Aftermath kind of drafted themselves into a losing team fight comp, and they don't have any other elements to it. They don't have a split push threat. They don't have a pick threat really. Um, they don't really have a poke threat either. They just kind of have a team fight into a. They have a worse team fight into a better team fight from the side of Conduit. So Aftermath, they're looking a little bit rough, but we were wrong last time. The draft doesn't mean everything. If they're able to play their
True.
champions, they're able to win the game. So, if Conduit can play their champions, they're definitely going to win this game, right?
And the poke you mentioned, I I'm really curious how this Vel'Koz worked out. Because the last time we saw Miss Fortune, she went Comet, she went Emax, so all in on just the ranged harass. And Lulu Jinx doesn't have a lot of sustain. Doesn't have
Mhm.
any sustain to survive in that. So that feels like a really rough bot lane. But if they can survive, like obviously Jinx does Jinx things and can run amok. But yeah, just I think
Oh,
I like Conduit's comp better here.
yeah, I think it's just easier to execute on, right? You just poke them out until they will overstep, and then so Corki and Vel'Koz just poke out until they overstep. Then you just unleash ultimates on top of them in team fights, and you just secure drakes, you secure bans, you secure priority, and that's just how you win the game, right?
Yep.
For Aftermath, they have a lot more setup they need to do. They need their vision to be on point. They need to just not be. They need to be sure they're not walking into wrong places at the wrong times. They need to, like, they have a lot more to go through in their checklist before they're able to win a team fight. For the side of Conduit, it's just as simple as walk in, poke them down, press R, win the game.
Yep. Well, stay tuned, everyone. Find out if that's exactly how this goes down or if we go over 2 in our predictions tonight. Welcome back, everyone. We are loaded into game. We've got Aftermath on red side, Conduit on blue side, and have a 5-point defensive fan out for both teams.
Interesting setup coming out from the side of Pupper Please. Doesn't have any pots. This could be super bad into Wukong, especially when Wukong is taking the ignite up here on the top side. Does have a cloth armor, but like I said, with no like effective HP or extra HP coming out from the pots, that cloth armor is gonna feel real flimsy in a little bit, right? It's really gonna feel like the paper from which it's named. So um, I don't know. Maybe when you want to back and get those pretty soon, maybe he just didn't notice and it's too late now. But either way, that orange's gonna be feeling the pain real quick. So we take a look at the rest of the map. Nobody else has anything too crazy in terms of rune setups. So yeah, just pretty much standard League of Legends right now, Jeeves.
I wonder if the idea is because they're holding on to gold. I wonder if they're planning on trying to build a real early rejuvenation beat. I could
That'd be
kind of see that.
interesting. Only what? He has 200 gold now. He only needs 100 more gold to grab it. So that's about the first wave. That could work, I guess. Maybe he's looking for 200 gold, so about 2 waves, and he can grab the a really early ruby crystal, right? But already
But
we
then
see the
that's what
Wukong.
happens.
Yeah. That's what happens when you don't have any bots, and he recognizes that. So Kappa Crusader just taking a very nice trade there on the Wukong and pretty much winning this early level for himself.
Yeah, there's not a lot Pupper Please can do when Nimbus Strike is just such an incredibly strong level 1 skill.
It does so much damage, and the attack speed that comes after it just allows them to do so much. And level 2 was reaching the bot side, but look at that's what happens when you have a Lulu Jinx. They just aren't able to deal damage, right? Even if they get the level 2 first, it's just a simple matter of Old Man Genetics just walking away from it as we potentially see a gank here. Mumu level 3 in the mid lane. I don't think this is viable.
Mumu gets the bandage toss. Buckby has to flash out. They're still going. The Gatling gun's going in. Black Eyed Peas has to flash out from the turret.
Buddy, what are you doing there? You're getting a little bit too crazy. You know, he didn't need to use his own flash there. We see a little bit of poke down here on the bot side. If he had just, stayed back just that little bit, no flash required, and he would have gotten the Ari's flash for free. But, we see the strategy come through fruition finally. Pupper Please grabbing the Bramble Vest on Ornn. And that will be the item he goes for. Interesting. Not the HP behind, no HP behind it to really make it effective, but not too awful nonetheless. I think into this, into this Conquer Wukong.
I kind of like it. Here's a gang from Convey. The Swirl Seed goes in. The Nimbus Strike goes up, and Kappa gets the first blood in the 2v1. Now Black Eyed Peas is there. The flash in from Convey, and a double kill for Kappa, who doesn't go down in the end. Fight in bot lane.
Nice
Genetics
exhaust.
Gets exhausted. The Ignite's running, and Jinx gets excited, is running away from Grand Fate. The Bushes is there. The autos from Izakuchi. Grand Fate does get the autos to kill, and Fat Jester cleans up the Vel'Koz.
Oh man, there's so much action all across the map, but it's both sides is kind of opposite, right? One went completely to the side of Kappa Crusader, grabs the Sheen, grabs the boots, and is able to sort of run back and start running this lane again. On the other side, Jinx got a kill, Lulu got a kill, and they won the 2v2 in the bot lane. That's pretty huge right there. And they still have a summoner spell. Fat Jester still has the flash, still can make something happen or survive himself. So at the end of the day, it's kind of mixed, it's really mixed. But they are able to shove this huge wave in, and Jinx is going to be there to collect the XP, but Convey looking for the gank.
Traps go down. Genetics doesn't see this happening. Convey's in behind. The traps expire. The zap comes out. Jinx gets knocked up. But Genetics gets the kill, but then Convey picks up Genetics. And now Grand Fate's running for their life. We've got some Alcove Gaming. Fat Jester is in the bush. Flashes from the Vel'Koz Q, and Convey's just running him down with the Qs. Gets the knockup, but the Swirl Seed gets the kill.
Nice little Swirl Seed from downtown, or up top, I should say, rather. But you love to see it. You really do love to see it, that they're able to, start camping this bot lane, start getting some more kills, and just put this Misfortune so far behind. But Hopper, please, please. It just feels so bad to play this matchup, especially when the Wukong has double buffs. When he has a Sheen and boots, he's so much faster than you. This top lane is completely lost, and I think it's a good idea from Convey to start focusing their attention in the spot lane.
Oh, and Orange just crafted a Tear of the Goddess, not even going for more durability.
I like where he's going with it, kind of. Like, I think Fimbulwinter is good on Ornn, but
Yeah,
with the recent nerfs to it, I think it's just better if you just straight up rush your AP or your health part of it, the Ruby Crystal, right? You really need the Ruby Crystal here. Your HP is just too flimsy to really withstand up to the Wukong. He's just gonna beat you out just because he has better stats.
a lot of trading back and forth. All that poke onto Izuku.
Look at Black Eyed Peas waiting for his moment in the bot lane to strike, and he doesn't quite have level 6, so it isn't as effective with the Moonwheel level 6, but he does have the double stun to try to make it work, and they're going to be going for the dive.
Blast Cone over, goes out of the bush, gets onto Fat Jester anyways, is under turret, gets the W, and now and now Izakuchi is running down Grand Fate. The last rocket gets the kill, and that's a double for Jinx. That was kind of an overforce from Conduit.
Huge overforce from Conduit. Guys, you didn't have a real wave. The wave was pretty much cleared by the time the Amumu got in range to try to make the play, and while they do pick up one, you lose your bot lane to do it, and the Jinx gets 2 kills. That's a 3-2 Jinx at the end of the day, and when Jinx gets ahead, she's so incredibly scary, right? If she's able to get this mythic as soon as possible, they can really unleash her, really unleash the champion.
Oh,
that charm was so smurf.
The bandage toss goes wide. The Q from RE gets the kill.
And Black Eyed Peas still doesn't have level 6. You're Mumu without level 6. Get level 6, please. I'm begging. You're so much better with level 6. But otherwise, that was a really good charm from the Ari, right? That was so insanely smurf. It caught him right as he tried to Valkyrie and just didn't let him get away. So even with Kappa Crusader with a nice 10 CS lead, a nice 3-0 up in the top side, the rest of the map is just
catches
absolutely losing.
Here comes the lilting lullaby. Lily is going in, gets a giant chunk on the Grand Fate.
Man.
He's walking out. Zap goes wide, but Fat Chester gets the kill with picks.
Very nice stuff right there. And look at that. Black Eyed Peas is in the area. Still doesn't have level 6. So it's going to be so hard.
He catches him out. The flash out from the charm.
Man. Imagine if he had level 6 there, they could easily turn that back onto Buckbee, who doesn't have level 6 of his own. Misfortune would have been there to follow up with the damage, but at the end of the day, like I said, Buddy just doesn't have 6. This Convey is just absolutely running him right now into the dirt, just really out farming him, out markering him, just being everywhere he needs to be as they look to pick up this first Drake. JJH on the wrong side of the map.
As Valkyrie away from the charm, this time the Swirl Seed comes out. Now, Black Eyed Peas does have the Amumu ult. There it goes. Buckbee goes down. The dragon's still getting taken. Jinx gets excited. There's the bullet time. Doesn't do a lot of damage. There's some trade back. The Vel'Koz Q, the Super Mega Death Rocket, threads the needle and misses everyone.
Yep, and right there, they just trade ultimates back and forth. But most importantly, they get the Infernal Drake. Even though Buckbee overforced there, it was a really bad overforce, right? He flash missed the charm and then had no way to get out because he didn't have the Spirit Rush. Even with the overforce by the mid laner, I think it was still a really good trade. You guys get the Drake, you get out, you get a lot of ultimates for free. It's not too bad at the end of the day for Aftermath, but what is bad is their top laner is getting beat up so incredibly hard, even though he has so much armor.
And I really like that Kappa went in and stole the red buff from Convey. That's a big advantage gained. And it allows him to be so oppressive. Here comes the Call of the Forge God. There's the decoy, does get caught. Here's the Cyclone in. Kappa gets the kill. Now it's Convey versus Kappa. There's the Lilting Lullaby. There's the second charge of Whirlwind. Oh, the Ignite goes down and the shutdown by Kappa for a clean 2v1.
Very good stuff coming out from Kappa, and Buddy is just absolutely smurfing on the Wukong. I like the Merc Treads buy because they have such a heavy AP, heavy CC topside. If you don't get Merc Treads here, you're going to get CC by the Orin Brittle, by the Lilia Sleep, and the Ari Charm for 3 years. So very good stuff coming out from the side of Kappa Crusader. And on the bot side of the map, You know, it's a less pretty story. Old Man Genetics and Grand Fate just
Yeah.
absolutely getting beat up on the poke champs. And if a poke champ isn't able to get ahead, it's really hard to deal poke because they're just able to walk into your space and really make it hard for you to operate even in your own area.
Yeah, the difference in bot lane, it's only a 400 gold lead for Ikazuchi over Old Man Genetics, but that's not what you want to see with Misfortune. Oh, the Swirl Seed goes wide. There's the flash in and the blue smite going for Genetics, but
Mm.
flash out from MF.
And overforce from combat right there, they definitely need to go for the play. The second this World C misses, I think you just kind of back off unless you're going to go for the dive here. And without the Drowsy on the Lilia, I don't think a dive is a viable option. But it is going to be Puffer Please trying to contest this. And I don't know if you can contest it when you don't have priority in the mid lane, buddy.
Oh, the bandage toss follows the orange charge. Headbutt.
This is the flash. You'll love to see it. And JJH didn't move to help his team, but didn't necessarily need to. Able to stay safe in the mid lane, but it's going to be a flash.
Oh, Genetics
Oh.
gets the kill.
What?
Right, Convey's looking for it. The Swirl Seed goes wide. There's the Make It Rain to slow down Lilia.
What was going on right there, Ikazuchi? I don't know. Why are you trying to take a 2v1? You forcing yourself to lose the flash and for a play that wasn't necessarily gonna work. Grand Fate and Old Man Genetic both did use their ultimates, but it's gonna be the flank coming through for Convey. They're gonna be looking to dive him solo, but without anybody pushing the wave. I think you just have to give this one up, Fat Jester.
They've got 3. Buckbee's down there now, too.
Doesn't have
The
ultimate on
Swirl
Grand
Seed
Fate.
lands. There's a
There it
Lilting
is.
Lullaby. The Charm goes wide, but they just have so much damage.
Doesn't even matter. They do
Teleport
manage to
comes in
teleport them out.
from Corky. Now Genetics has joined the fight. There's the Lulu ult onto Convey to get out.
Very nice stuff, and they're able to get the kill, sneak away with it. But look at the top side; they're forcing Pupper Please
The
use
Make It
normal.
Rain comes in. The Valkyrie goes in. Now Ikazuchi is the target. The Buckbee comes on back. MF gets the kill through the exhaust. She's trading back, but goes
Oh.
down to Fat Jester.
And look on the top side. They tried to dive him solo, but I don't know what happened exactly. Probably just to dropping the aggro on the wrong person. Black Eyed Peas wasn't there to tank the aggro up for his Wukong, so it will be Kappa Crusader gets shut down there. 500 gold over to the Ornn. It's not quite enough to stop his lead. He's already about 1,000 plus gold up, but it is a nice little 800 gold boost to his coffers, and it's gonna not the cleanest game anymore coming out from Kappa Crusader. But Black Eyed Peas does manage to take the first turret, put a little bit of gold in his pocket, and equalize the lead between himself, or expand the lead between himself and Convey.
How do you feel about that play right there with Black Eyed Peas taking solo turret gold when Kappa's been really dominating the lane?
I think it would have been better just to wait for Kappa to get back, but I understand why they didn't. Because they wanted the gold immediately, right? They wanted the plates at the end of the day. And I think that's a smarter play to get the plates, to prioritize the plates, then prioritize who the plates go on to. I think it's fine that Black Eyed Peas gets it, but of course it would have been best if they just waited on that play. But JJH has the package.
Oh,
No
Kappa
flash.
goes over the wall with the W. Oh, Izakuchi goes down before the fight even starts. Flash in from Kappa. There's the Ignite onto Lulu.
Oh,
Has to get out, and yeah, this is just
Yeah,
a 5v3 now. Dragon should go over to Conduit.
and you know, with them having the Corky package still, they can make a play anytime they want. Oh, no, it just went away. Never mind. I was wrong. Ignore me. But yeah, interesting flash coming out from the side of Kappa. Didn't have the ultimate, so there's no real way to lock down Fat Jester there. Doesn't have a slowing device either. Doesn't have a stride breaker. Doesn't have a Blade of the Rune King, so it's really hard to actually pick up that kill.
He's used to having red buff because he's had it most of the game.
Probably used to having red buff. Honestly, yeah. But yeah, definitely need some way to stick onto the targets. Blade the Rune King, Stride Breaker are your options. There's no really other good ones available for him, so it's just really hard for him to stick. But at the same time, does he really need sticking potential when he's going to be grouping with his team more than likely? Probably no, but we will see what Black Eyed Peas chooses to do, looking for the gank potentially.
Oh, Ikazuchi runs right on through all the Velka's damage and takes out Grand Fate. Here comes the teleport from Pupper, please. Now Black Eyed Peas comes in. There's the Curse of the Sad Mummy is in the middle of 3, trying for the damage, but Buckby gets Genetics in the backside.
Man, oh man, they just have better macro play coming up from the side of Aftermath, and they're going to
Call
be a
of
good play on
Forge God comes in,
JJH.
gets the knockup on JJH. Swirl Seed goes wide. There's the Searing Charge from Orn. All the damage. Orn gets out from under the turret. Convey takes 2 shots, but doesn't go down.
Not even close, baby. But yeah, just like that, they're just able to win the game through pure macro play, right? Like their Drake contest was a little bit rough, but the fact that they were able to so quickly call down Pupper Please, turn the play around, Ikazuchi just walking through the Belkos, does not care, realizes how incredibly strong he is, has first item Kraken Slayer completed with boots. This Jinx is just a force to be reckoned with. Even though the Wukong is stronger, it's just so hard to move the Wukong out of the lane and actually start doing something on the map.
Oh, God. And this bot lane's been an absolute bloodbath. 11 of the deaths for Conduit are on their bot lane. 6 of the deaths for Aftermath are in the bot lane. It's just been a nonstop fight. Convey's been hovering around that lane constantly. And it's,
Yeah, you know, he's been hovering down there a lot, but he's kind of suffered for it. Not really, because Black Eyed Peas hasn't been able to take full advantage of it in terms of CSing, but he has been suffering in terms of, you know, levels and in terms of gold, right? You know, he doesn't have as much as Black Eyed Peas by any stretch of the imagination. But you know who has the most gold in the game? Ikazuchi at 7,000 gold at this point, doing so much damage on this Jinx, ready to just really stop this game.
The
But
Spirit
Buckby
rushes
ulting.
in. The Bandage Toss goes wide. Grand Fate's on the wrong side. The Charm goes wide, and the Laser gets the kill. Now Lily is on the wrong side. There's the Curse of the Sad bullet time. Ikazuchi flashes forward, gets the Super Mega Death Rocket onto Grand Fate, but now Black Eyed Peas is in there and does not want any of this Jinx, who gets the kill. Kappa doesn't get the kill. The shutdown goes to Genetics.
What the heck is happening? Why did? Okay, so it started off. You know, Kappa is chasing down Pupper Plays, which is fine in the top side. But then, uh, 3 members from the side of Aftermath decide to kind of end it away. I think Ikazuchi saved the play just that little bit, but Kappa Crusader was able to be there to kind of clean up a little bit. But they just kind of decided to do a little bit of weird pathing. Buckby just going behind the enemy lines, trying to find an assassination target, but they just completely just turned and killed him. Not sure what was going on in the comms there, but ooh, Aftermath could have thrown that game if Jinx wasn't there to pick up 3 kills.
That's 10 kills in 18 minutes for this Jinx. It's been just an
What a
absurdly
blue
bloody
card.
game.
Both teams just looking to scrap it out, and I kind of respect that. But the team that's a little bit better at scrapping it out is, of course, you know, Conduit. But they just haven't been able to find the advantage. They are up only 1,000 gold, but it's not until the right
Gets
target.
caught by the charm. There's the blue smite. Lilia doesn't get the Q. Now Wukong's in there. There's the stopwatch. The Cyclone comes out.
Oh, Ikazuchi.
Ikazuchi's running for it. There's the Wukong. There's the Lilting Lullaby. Ari's over the back, and JJH gets the 2 carries. Now the Call Forge God hits the target. Wukong's in there. Convey's getting chased down by Kappa. Fat Jester rejoins the fight while JJH is still just free firing.
Oh.
The damage from Kappa is just massive, and the sustain from Conqueror.
They absolutely smurfed that. Kappa Crusader, JJH, absolutely smurfing in this team fight. Coming over the wall, hitting the rockets exactly where necessary. Kappa Crusader just being a tricky little monkey, right? Just hitting, you know, the right target at the right time. Flashing through to pick up the kill on Fat Jester. Doubling around the fight. Just being so incredibly hard to pin down to kill. And that's why you pick Wukong when he's strong, right? He's just impossible to deal with if he's able to get ahead in laning phase and out of laning phase. But he's going to fall off in that late game. You just have to wait for it, right? But,
Yeah.
you know, do you even win the late game at this point? Looking a little bit rough. Their only late game insurance is the Jinx Lulu.
And seeing Kappa survive when he went so low in that fight, I want to call out the really, I think, smart itemization that he went for an early Hex Drinker that's now been upgraded into a Maw of Malmortius. The item's super good if I remember right. Right now, they buffed it recently, and against all the AP damage coming from Convey, Buckbee, Pupper Please, I really like that as a defensive item for Kappa Crusader.
Absolutely. I think that's so incredibly strong. But I think it would have been better if he'd rushed more of a damage item, right? Maybe a Black Cleaver coming out, maybe the Serix Gauge, something else other than the Maw Mortius would have been a little bit more preferable, but they can still make a play up here. Oh, they can try to make a play. JJH and Kappa Crusader, they are in the area. They can do something. But what does this do for their team? It does allow them to secure that Drake pressure, but look at that. Buckbee pushing in the bot side. No teleport. This could be huge if they're able to find the play without the Ahri.
Might be 4 and top, but so far no one's matching Buckbee.
Uh-oh. It can also be huge if no one matches Buckbee and they aren't able to find the play, and Buckbee's just able to take a free tower, free 500 gold, but they're going to be starting up the Baron. While Ikazuchi gets one shot.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Cyclone goes in, and yeah, Ikazuchi goes down. And now I don't see how Aftermath takes a fight. The Call of the Forge God comes through, the flash in, and Lilia steals the Baron.
I was about to say, Black Eyed Peas, there's no way you should lose the Baron. You just have the better, your team bursts it super hard at a certain HP level, right? You just talk to your team, you coordinate it. But for some reason, Black Eyed Peas peels off of it while his team keeps hitting it. He's saying, don't hit it, don't hit it, don't hit it. His team's saying, hit it, hit it, hit it, burst it now. And then Lily just walks over and steals it in that moment of confusion. That's when most Baron steals happen, right? When your team's too confused, doesn't know what the play is, or they're not communicating properly, or they're just being a little bit lazy and they're not properly, crossing off their T's, dotting their I's. And then they're just able to sneak in, right? And they're just able to sneak into that tiny little crack, take away the Baron, buy themselves that little bit of extra time. And this could be huge. Unless Ikazuchi, again, gets caught out and one shot by Kappa Crusader at this next Drake fight in 2 minutes. This is more than enough time for them to take maybe a tier 1 in mid lane, tier 1 in top side. And that's exactly what they do. Now they have space to really operate.
I want to take a second and apologize to Conduit for jinxing them so horrendously.
How could you, as Black Eyed Peas, making a play on a Pupper Please?
There's the bandage toss, but the charge is buffered correctly.
Very nice. Very nice little charge coming through. Keeps Soren safe and wasn't able to follow up on the play, even though they had multiple members moving into the area. Again, without Kappa Crusader or without JJH, I don't think you really want to be making plays. It's so incredibly difficult. But look at that. We get into about minute and 30 before the Drake. A little quick item check. Oh man, excuse me. I don't know why. I have the hiccups all of a sudden, and it's not fun. It's not fun, dude. But a little item check coming through. Second item complete on the lid, going for the stopwatch, just looking to flash in, get multi-man sleeps, and survive afterwards.
Yep.
Item and a half complete on Corgi. He's super close, and
Kappa got the blue bullet.
Man, that's cold. You hate to see it if you're Lilia. He just walked up and queued it once, and even though they have this Baron, they don't have any pressure off of the Baron. They're not correctly
Hunting Buckbee.
Yeah, Buckbee has flash.
There's the decoy into the Nimbus strike. Yeah. Oh, Black Eyed Peas wants this. It's the bandage toss, the slow from Make It Rain. The bullet time comes through. There's a stopwatch.
Stopwatch. Still dies at the end of the day.
Lilia doesn't go for the ult.
They just that damage, but they just weren't in a. They just weren't in
position. Stops the back from Black Eyed Peas, who has to flash away from
no.
Death Rocket. There's the Call of the Forge God knocking up Genetic. It takes out Ikazuchi.
Yeah, I was
so much. Kappa does not go down. Kappa's on the other side of the fight, getting a double.
Does not care. That's the Wukong for you, ladies and gentlemen. But I was about to say they were doing a really good job from Conduit to, take out the member that was split, right? They weren't protecting Buckbee properly, from the side of Aftermath. They were able to sneak in there, grab him up, and snipe him away, and that was a really good job from them. However, then the mistakes compound on each other from the side of Aftermath. They not only didn't they protect Buckbeat, they took a 4v5 trying to win it, and they just got outplayed by Black Eyed Peas using his flash over the wall and surviving with that little bit of sliver of HP.
Now, see, Kappa Crusader, I guess, listened to you and has a Black Cleaver. Damage coming through it.
Very
Super
nice.
strong.
Yeah, he's going to be able to shred through the armor of the Orange, shred through the a little bit of armor of the Lily and Ari at the end of the day. But, first ornament has come through. It's going to be the Wormfall and Sacrifice for the Jinx. And now he's going to be looking to upgrade more than likely the Ari next into that Luden's Hurricane. And they're going to be able to do so much damage together. But it's just will they be safe to do damage? That's the real question. Are they going to be safe? Will Kappa Crusader give them a time of day to breathe? That's the real question.
Buckbeat, with all the times they've successfully picked Buckbeat, JJH is a full item ahead. Oh, now Pupper Please gets caught out. The Bandage Toss lands. There's the Get Rain, and Kappa gets that kill.
Nice. Very nice job to catch that one out. And that's just what they're doing. They're just walking into the enemy jungle after clearing mid-wave, finding the person out, picking them off from the team, and they're just going to rinse and repeat that for the next minute, at least 3 minutes for this Cloud or Baron.
He was pushing top lane. Does have teleport. Oh, there's a curse for the sad mummy. The bullet time comes through. The Jinx rocket picks up a bunch. There's a damage coming through. Triple kill from JJH. But now Buckbeat is 1v1 versus Black Eyed Peas. It's like both teams just one-shot each other. Kappa comes in. There's the decoy. There's the Nimbus.
Nice shot.
Q comes through. The Cyclone gets stopwatch dodge. And the second charge of Cyclone comes through.
Yep, didn't even give him a chance to breathe. And now they can quickly take this turret. Very easy little pickup here, just using the Qs, using the damage from the Divine Sunder. And now they just gotta reset back toward that Drake. 30 seconds on this, Baron. 30 seconds on this Baron timer. They have to set up vision. They have a whole lot of checklists, to mark off.
Yeah, just the squishies lined up against each other in that fight in such a way that, like, suddenly Ikazuchi's doing damage. JJH is absolutely massive with 3 items completed. Yes, that was all over the place.
Yeah, absolutely massive stuff. Now, like I said, we're just waiting on the Baron dance to begin. It's already spawned, but both sides are a little bit slow to react to it. The only support over there dropping wards is Fat Jester. We really need the Vel'Koz to be there dropping wards of his own, to be there for the team. So just now getting over there to start dropping those wards, but they have top priority. They're looking to secure mid priority with the Misfortune. This Baron dance is going to be impressive.
Takes a blast cone into 3. There's the decoy. There's the Lulu ult onto Ikazuchi, but now Kappa's running, and the Super Mega Death Rocket gets it. The Vel'Koz laser over the wall. Triple kill for JJH, though. And now the rockets are firing in, going for Buckbeat. Genetics gets that kill. Pupper Please is here to try to contest, but it's like this is a Baron for Conduit. Yeah, should be, maybe. A Baron for Conduit.
Dude, they are smashing them. Even with Kappa Crusader walking into the wrong place at the wrong time, they still have JJH to deal with on the Corki, right? He just packaged over, dealt so much damage to so many members, and then the rockets were just so impactful afterwards. It's even with the Wukong dead, he's only the first problem, right? He's the first layer. Then you got to go to Old Man Genetics and Grand Fate. Then you got to go to the boss layer in JJH, and the super secret sub boss, which is Black Eyed Peas. Kind of scary, but it's a move at the end of the day. So, but regardless, they pick up the Baron. Conduit now has to move into this game. They can end it whenever they realistically please, right? They have about a 9,000 gold lead. They just need to start moving around the map, actively pushing lanes, use the power that Kappa Crusader brings in the 1v1, or just look to group up for this Cloud Soul. I don't even think, I think the Cloud Soul is honestly bait. I think you kind of just let them have it so you can push another lane, maybe TSN them, right? Go down mid while they're just trying to contest this Cloud Drake.
I think they just feel like they're strong enough in the team fight that they call after Matt's bluff. Like, if they want a challenge, sure, we've been winning team fights, so come challenge this.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Pupper Please gonna get caught out that little bit there. Captain Crusader off on the side, being a threatening force on this Wukong. And I think they just kind of have to give it this Drake. There's no really way for them to enter this pit.
Zoning goes over the wall. There's the Cyclone chasing down Buckby. The Ignites on charge to of Cyclone, but Buckby flashes out. The Alcaz laser comes through. There's the bullet, or the Curse of the Sad Mummy onto Ikazuchi. Now getting run down. Convey takes out Black Eyed Peas. They're running away. There's the bullet time over the wall, chunking Ikazuchi. Does survive.
Barely. Oh man. Right there, that fight was kind of lost. It could have been the game-ending fight. They managed to trade 1-for-1 at the end of the day, so it's not really a won or lost fight either way. But Taproot Crusader just went too deep, too far for Buckby there. If he had turned around, gone for Jinx, gone for the flank, now that he forced away the Ari, that would have been so much better. But instead, they just get, they lose Black Eyed Peas. They managed to take out one in return, but
flash in from Convey. There's the Lulling Lullaby. Ikazuchi takes out Grand Fate, but JJH takes out Convey on the backside. There's the exhaust onto Ikazuchi, who's running away. Flash in from Genetics. The double up gets the kill, and JJH takes out Fat Jester.
Love to see a JJH with the double kill, looking for the triple, and oh my gosh, the damage. Tries to find it back, doesn't find the charm. Captain Crusader has the red buff. He's going to start sustaining up his HP very nicely out of combat. And now they're just looking for the siege. 29 seconds on the Jinx. 18 on top of it. Oh!
Big one snipes Buckby.
That was from down, ladies and gentlemen.
Trying to live, and JJH gets the double.
Can they end the game? I don't think they can end the game. That timers are pretty long, but they're ending now. Ikazuchi and Convey and Fat Jester will be up. The other two will be that little bit extra longer. They do have 4 members in the base, but without Baron buff, they just don't feel comfortable doing it.
Yeah, I think that's the smart play. They don't want to coin flip on racing these spawn timers. So go back, spend their gold, take the safer ending.
Very nice stuff. Either way. Ooh, what do we do now, folks? What do we do now? How do we end this game? Coming out from the side of Grand Fate and Squad. Well, like I said, they've been kind of running it down 2 lanes. They need to open up the map. There are 3 lanes in this game. They need to be flexing that advantage that they have. They need to either group up and start sieging with the poke, or they need to have Capra Crusader off on the side, JJH off on the side, and the other 3 just in the mid lane, just kind of playing, like I said, keep away, forcing them off of the turrets like that. But they need to do something, and at least they're going to be taking the tier 1 or tier 2 in the top side, potentially. Black Eyed Peas is tanking that turret up.
For the dive onto Convey, there's the bandage toss into the Vel'Koz laser. The bullet time picks up the kill.
Very nice stuff. At least Misfortune gets that kill.
Lands onto Grand Fate.
Very nice
stop on the Zonias.
Ikazuchi doesn't have super method death drop until just now. Fires it off. Ooh, barely goes wide.
And turret goes down. The bullet time, or the Curse of the Sad Mummy gets totally whiffed. Buckby picks up the kill. Here comes the Call of the Forged God. Goes through, knocks up Genetics. Now Conduit's running for the hills. The knockup comes in. Kappa's looking, gets killed by Ikazuchi. Now that's a Valkyrie out by JJH. And nice team fight by Aftermath.
Absolutely. Very nice team fight coming out from the side of Aftermath. Even though they're down 10,000 gold, Jinx has finally skilled. 4 items, going for the Mom Mortius last. She is ready to deal some damage, but she has to play this still super cautiously. I think it really only went well for them because Black Eyed Peas kind of ended the fight, right? He threw it a stun, hit it very nicely on a Buckby, but got charmed out of it, and that just means that he's not able to get his ultimate. So when he threw it the ultimate anyway and it hit absolutely no one, that's their go signal. They can just run through the rest of the fight. Jinx gets excited and just eats them all up for breakfast. So we're looking at JJH to hit his rockets. We're looking at Capra Crusader to kind of get into that backline, disrupt it a little bit, but Jinx is just looking to one-shot Capra Crusader whenever he does that. So Black Eyed Peas has to be there with him to ult out of anything, just to make sure it's difficult as possible.
And we've hit the point of the game where both teams have enough gold that the gold lead isn't super duper meaningful. Kappa's full build, Jinx's full build, Misfortune is close to full build, JJH is full build. So like, the fights are gonna be closer than it should be, and we're gonna see what happens with this Baron. Burning it down. There's the bounty.
Convey
gets
did it
taken.
again!
Convey with the second Baron steal of the game.
And look
Now
at that
Kappa's
Copper
going in,
Crusader,
chasing
buddy.
after Ikazuchi, but is in a 4v1. The Lulu ult saves her, but JJH gets the kill onto Jinx. Now Pupper Please is running away. Bullet time comes out. Aftermath
Don't have
is
any more
running
damage.
away.
They could lose this game potentially here if Conduit realizes what they can do, right? If they realize they can go for this play, if they realize they can end the game right here, right now, they just have to keep forcing them back into their base. They don't have a lot of damage anymore. They don't have the Jinx. It's still 36 seconds, 37 seconds. They have to go for it now. They can't walk back, or else this could be the end of the game for them. And I think they're just not realizing it.
Their bandage toss comes in. The curse of the
no.
goes wide. There's the knock up onto Pupper Please by Vel'Koz.
Arm goes wide.
They're running. I don't think they can do this anymore. They've gotta make a break for it.
13 seconds. Jinx has a super mega death rocket when she gets back up. All right. Nope, they can't end the game, and I think this could be the game for Conduit. They might have thrown it at the very last stretch here, folks. Convey out here with a double steal. But if they do get Elder here, I don't know. Maybe he has to get a third steal. Convey. Man's back has to
He's
be
in
broken
there.
at this point.
Here comes the
He has a
teleport
flash.
from JJH. There's the super mega death rocket.
He's slowed.
Black Eyed Peas is asleep, but Grand Fate gets the kill.
Whew. Yeah, very nice job from Grand Fate just to kind of zone him away. Doesn't give him opportunity to get into the pit. And very good stuff. Very good stuff. So they have the Elder. They don't have the Baron. Now they just need to get into the back line and one-shot Jinx, one-shot the Lulu, and they win this game. But I think they just have to group here now. They don't do anything fancy macro. When you have Elder, you fight, fight, fight. When you have Baron, you push, push, push. And just don't confuse the macro up. Just don't get too fancy with it.
Yeah, JJH doesn't have teleport. The double ignites are up. This feels like the time to just have everyone group up together and just play some Rock'em Sock'em robots.
Very nice stuff. So yeah, what are we looking at now? Like I said, we're just looking to fight. We're just looking to kind of clear waves and not take a fight.
There's the Spirit Rush down.
Yeah, he has to force it out, right? You have to be so incredibly scared. It's an Elder Corki.
Kappa goes in. There's the decoy into
Look at the damage.
Ooh.
Oh man, this monkey just does so much work. Able to force it out, and now they're just going to be grabbing this inhib up. And they need to end this game, or else this huge influx of gold will be enough to kind of negate the gold advantage, right?
Rockets
They
are
need to
so
use
big.
it. Looking at Ikazuchi though, that's their target. That's Convey. He hits a drowsy potentially.
Oh, there's the bandage shot on toss onto Pupper. Please gets taken out. There's the first death. Buckby is
in the game. Ikazuchi trying to do what he can. Not enough.
It's taken down, and that is gonna be game. Convey and
Wow.
Patrick are desperately trying to sustain on the fountain, but the Elder buff takes him out.
Yep, very nice stuff coming out from Captain Crusader and squad. JJH doing his part to pull through. Grand Fate coming through at the very end clutch moment to keep Convey out of the pit. Super good play from Conduit. They didn't make it look easy. It wasn't.
No.
It wasn't an easy match, but they still managed to pull through in the end when they had a huge advantage. And GG's to them. Hats off. Very good stuff, especially your top laner.
Yeah, it wasn't clean and it wasn't pretty, but it got the job done. Conduit, I think that's 2 wins for them on the night, so they look to be going for a good seeding.
Yeah, absolutely. So with that, we're going to be getting to the last game of the night. Who's going to be playing, Jeeves?
We have it looks like we've got Rivals coming back on stream against Clown Gaming Aristocrats.
Interesting stuff. So Rivals versus Clown Gaming Aristocrats for that last little spot in the group. So, let's see how it goes after a quick break here. Don't go anywhere, folks.
Welcome back, everyone. We are here for our third and final game of these seeding matches for playoffs tonight. I am once again Jeeves here with Arlan.
What's up, G's? We get right into the draft. It's going to be the Vladimir getting taken away by the rivals, and I think Vladimir is kind of sleeper OP right now. I think he's really, really good in solo queue, especially into the more meta mid laners. I think he's super good into Ari. I think he's super good into the Vigar, especially if you can play him successfully. If you can't play him, well, yeah. He's also good into the Ornn because he kind of just neutralizes the lane entirely and just lets him scale up. So good ban, good job for them to take away the Jinx as well, even though they are blue side. Yeah, overall, a very nice band so far coming out from the side of rifles. Everything makes sense. Crown of Aristocats taking away the Volibear, taking away the Twitch. Again, everything makes sense. An anti-ADC ADC getting taken away. Rivals taking away the Zaya. Aristocrats taking away the Caitlyn, and now it's just which ADC is left that you want to pick. Do you pick up the Kai'Sa? Do you pick up the Ezreal? Misfortune potentially. Ash maybe. Who knows?
Are we going to get a second Varus game tonight?
Oh, that's an option too. I guess I don't know.
I really would love to see a Felios show up at some point. That
I would too.
champion is so strong and he just gets completely ignored in
There's
gold leagues,
Nalos.
seemingly.
Yeah, he's pretty complicated. Like you have to know the gun
True.
order that you want to play, and you have to position correctly with each different gun. And it's 5 guns, so you have 5 different ways of positioning. So it's pretty hard. Even though 2 of the playstyles are kind of similar, the other 4, or sorry, the other 3 are kind of weird. Um, but either way, rivals they do first pick that Nautilus. They're just gonna hold off on that ADC pick for that little bit longer. Aristocrats grab the Lee Sin, even though he was recently nerfed. I think in the most recent patches. They're still going to pick up the Lee Sin. They're going to pick up the Braum. So now they're going to more than likely maybe look for a Lucian if they want something lane dominant. And if they want something more scaling, they can pick up a Vayne. They can pick up the Ash, maybe the Misfortune, but the Ash gets picked up by
There's the
rivals,
Ash.
picking that away.
Now, Clown ran Lee Sin their first game of the night and had a really strong performance. Went like 9-0 in the jungle. So they're looking to replicate the success they had game one.
Absolutely. So, what are you looking to grab? What are we looking to grab? Maybe a jungler here and
Okay.
Lilia. Very nice pickup. I like it a lot, especially into the Lee Sin. And aristocrats, it's up to them. I think you just pick your ADC here. Kind of hold off on that mid pick. Hold off on that 80, that top lane pick for as long as possible.
ADC pool is so pinched because the with the Nautilus coming out, you don't really want to pick the Zeri, and I will fully admit to having not read through the essay on Zeri changes that came in today's patch.
Bad. That's all you need to know. She's no longer pickable. It's really bad to pick Zeri. Unless you go for a
Okay.
crit Zeri, and then she's no longer as tanky, and then it's kind of like, well, it's hard to kind of get that kiting out if you're not tanky, so bad.
So we've got the Lux coming in, a lot of burst coming in from the mid lane, some pick potential. I like it. It's a little bit more. It has the supportive capability, so it feels like a solid 2-man roaming set with the Lee Sin.
Yeah, absolutely. So, hmm, I don't know. It's interesting that the aristocrats banned the LeBlanc away from themselves, right? Like, usually you see the
Yeah.
LeBlanc go with the Lee Sin. So for them to say we kind of want a range dealer plus Lee Sin. One thing that Lux does have going for her, she does have a long range ultimate, right? So she can support his plays from afar without necessarily having to get lane priority, even though she can achieve it pretty easily. But I'm just not sure about this. I think you should have saved your ADC pick because now you can get counterpicked into the Lux and it's going to make her life so hard if it's a really good counterpick on something they can really play. That's going to be the Kai'Sa getting picked up in the bot lane, not mid lane, or maybe it could be Flex.
Yeah, I was gonna say, could you see a world in which the Lux goes bot lane with Braum, or is that too troll?
I think it's troll with the Braum, but I definitely do see a world where Lux goes bot lane. I think, they have a lot of disengage potential down there with the Braum Lux.
Yeah.
Damage kind of low on the lower end, but I don't know. I really don't know. I think it's just going to be Kai'Sa down there, though. Keep it standard. You don't have to try and do anything too fancy.
Yeah,
But
yeah, for
Victor
sure.
getting picked in Deluxe, I like it a lot. It's a matchup that the Lux can win, but more importantly, it's more favored towards the Victor. A lot of Victors like it a lot. They just find it super easy to scale and dodge her ease. And Urgot getting locked in on the top side. So this is all on Aristocrats. What do you want to play? Do you want to bust out the Kled and really make this Urgot's life hell? Or do we just pick a tank and kind of be boring about it?
And that's an ergot that Imperial Gaming had banned out, like first ban in game one. They did not want that ergot on the map. So Rivals, their top laner, was probably licking their lips ready to lock in that champ.
Absolutely. So Aristocrats 1 second left. They pick up the Gwyn. Ooh, even with the buffs, I don't think she's I don't know. I don't know.
Oh,
I think even with the buff, she's just not at a place to really dominate this Urgot like she used to, right? It was really her range that allowed her just to bully out the Urgot and which made her super good pick into the Urgot. Now that she doesn't have that range advantage anymore, it's so incredibly difficult for her to be able to play. But even then, the buffs might be enough for her to win out in this lane. I'm not so sure though. I'm not so sure. I haven't had enough research, not enough time with the new Gwyn to really see the results of the buffs.
she's still got like the fun outplay potential where like the ergot goes for the snipe and she can put up the shroud. Shroud generally, like Urgot's range is low enough that it doesn't get negated outright by the shroud like some of the longer range top laners are. And I feel like it's with Gwen, I think every matchup is if she gets ahead, she has the possibility to just dumpster the
Mhm.
other laner. That's just modern champ designed by Riot. She's a 2021 champion, and so anyone older than 2021 champions, she just has more tools then. Um, and so Urgot is rough though. If he gets a lead, he is so oppressive.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
not only is he super impressive to your point, but Urgot is one of those champions that is even when you put him down, he still has enough sustainability, tankiness, and damage to find a way back into the game and really ruin your life, right?
yep,
If he gets ahead, he's really hard, incredibly hard to beat. If he gets behind, he's still really hard, still incredibly hard to beat. Um, Gwen is kind of the same way, but a little bit less hard to beat if she gets behind, but even more impressive if she gets ahead. She is just so much sustainability, forces multiple members to buy anti-heal, and even then, they have relatively wrong range damage dealers. They have Ash, they have a Victor, they have a range character in the Urgot. Her W is going to be doing so much work, just kind of isolating her in the Lilia, isolating her in the Nautilus, and it allows the Lux and Kai'Sa to poke freely.
yep. And just looking at it now, the aristocrats really have a very squishy team. Like Braum is the only durable thing there. Lee Sin's gonna go like gourd drinker. Uh, but it's they're gonna have to play these fights super cleanly with the amount of damage that rivals drafted.
Absolutely, yeah. I don't know. It's a rough game from Aristocrats just because their jungle requires so much technical skill. If they had an
Yep.
easier jungle, I think I would be comfortable taking their draft. But with so much of their damage invested into AP, and they're only, Kai'Sa can go AD, of course, but with their only champion that you know for a fact is going AD being a Lee Sin, I don't feel comfortable kind of putting them up on a pedestal saying that they have a chance to win over the rivals here. I think the rivals
Yep.
have a much more balanced team comp.
Yep.
Things just make more sense in most places. And the Lee Sin is just, like I said, it's just a hard champion to execute on. If he smurfs on it, then he's going to win the game for his team. If he doesn't smurf on it, then he loses the game for his team. Simple as that.
Oh. But don't go anywhere, fans. We are gonna take a brief break to get loaded in and get set up. And yeah, we will be right back. Welcome back, everyone. We have Clown Gaming Aristocrats on red side and Rivals on the blue side. And it looks like we have a 5-man stack going through the bot lane, and the Aristocrats are 5-man stacking for defense. So we might have a full-on team fight here.
We might have a
in
little bit of
bot.
a level 1 skirmish, and I love to see that. I absolutely love to see people using the Nautilus, people using the Bard to do kind of, one of the reasons you pick them are for these kind of
Ooh.
skirmishes as Barbarian walks into the area.
In it, Barbarian's in the lead. There's the Braum Q. The Lilia Q comes out. First Blood goes to a bound. Now they're running for it. The life bars are going low. Eyesight goes in, gets the Q. It's like the Clowns are trying to make a break for it. Ash gets snared. Northward is getting out of there, and it looks like it's just the 1-for-1.
It's the 1-for-1 at the end of the day, but you have to look at what resources were used, right? Pots were used, potions were used that you can't get back anymore. Most importantly, on the Urgot, on the Gwen. And then, damage picked up on the Lee Sin. That's probably like the one person you don't want to get first blood, because Lee Sin with first blood means he can start running the game that much earlier, use that 400 gold to his advantage supremely. And I don't know, now we're just looking kind of at a bound already to carry. We're looking at him even more to carry.
And the kills both went to the junglers. Wow, the red buff for eyesight got a little close there. Ended up having to they didn't have time to go back after that fight before clearing.
Yeah, got a little bit dangerous, but at the end of the day, it worked out. So, just kind of looking at this game, looking at each side as they start to play. Nothing too interesting in terms of runes. Glacial Augment coming out for Barbarian here, I like it a lot.
Yep.
Poke coming out for the Victor here, just to achieve, lane dominant runes, looking to achieve that lane dominance. Like I said, nothing too crazy coming out from either team. Very standard stuff, very meta play. And now we're honestly just waiting to look at, how the jungle pathing affects this game a little bit. The Lilia looking to skip some camps, skip the Raptors here, going straight from buff to romp, whereas the Lee Sin is doing a full clear pathing, so he's going to have a lot more gold at the end of it, but his tempo is going to be a lot slower. And, when you're playing Lee Sin, you want that tempo advantage. OTF. Buddy, what are you doing?
Almost getting the solo kill.
Very nice stuff from Easton, but OTFF getting so incredibly low there. What happened? Just didn't respect the Lux damage at all. And, oh man, that's horrible. You pick Victor for the priority, but when you're not able to get the priority, it means your jungler is just kind of stuck in this loop of pathing as Lee Sin goes to pick up this topside scuttle, and you can see the team's different focuses come out to play. The Lilia path top and then pass back towards the bot side because they're focusing on the bot side of the map, and Lee Sin just pass straight towards the top side because their focus is on the top side of the map.
Really clean comboing by Easton there, weaving the autos in, getting the full use out of the Lux passive, and that's where it felt like probably OTFF got caught off guard with the amount of damage coming out at, what was that, level 2, level 3?
Yeah, man, that was like a level 3 power spike, and that's Lux for you, ladies and gentlemen. But a bound looking for the angle.
Bound coming into mid.
Flash.
Oh, OTFF flashes the Lee Sin. Oh, and Hook comes in, grabs XL Physiology. There's the exhaust. Swirl Seed comes in for the slow. The counter exhaust comes in onto Righteous, and Megatron is running him down.
Yeah, at the end of the day, nothing comes of that, but Lee Sin again going for the mid gank again.
Oh, a bound comes in, gets the slow, gets the Q. There's the follow-up Q for the kill.
I love it. I love the fact that they're giving Lee Sin these kills. You want him to get these kills, and the fact that they're just letting him farm out mid lane too to help push the way for Easton, it does so much. You want the Lee Sin to be so incredibly selfish. When you pick Lee Sin, you're not picking him for a tank. You're not picking for just another bruiser. You're picking him to be the ultimate bruiser, the ultimate ward hopping, flash kicking, flashy assassin ninja Bruce Lee wannabe, right? You're not picking him for anything less than that. So good job on them to let him get us some mid farm. Good job on them to find that kill off of the regank. OTFF stepping up way too far when he doesn't have flash, and the hook lands on the bot side.
Physiology. There's the Swirl Seed for the slow. The shield is up, and Righteous flashes in for the kill. That's a double, taking down Megatron.
Up, and that's a good job from them. They're just focusing, different things. One's focusing the mid lane using Lee Sin mid top, and the other's focusing bot, and they each found success. But you have to kind of wonder where the success is more concentrated right now. It's just more concentrated on this Ash on righteousness, or sorry, just righteous. And Buddy is going to be looking to do so much damage on this Ash. It can get kind of overwhelming at time, but she is one of those 3 item ADCs, so it will be a little bit before that we see that.
Spot lane's been looking pretty rough for Clowns. Megatron needs to get some items. Like Kaisa doesn't come online for a while, and they really just have no priority in the lane so far.
Yeah, absolutely zero priority. That's the nature of picking Kaisa into a
Yep.
longer range character, right? She just gets outranged. She finds it hard to step up. She can't really poke back without a W. So just tough luck for Megatron right here, but it's kind of something he has to deal with until they get attention from this Lee Sin, and it doesn't look like it's going to be happening despite both junglers being here on the bot side. XL still
Swirl Seed lands onto XL, flashes out with the shield up, gets the Guardian Shield, but the hook back from CB.
very nice stuff from CB picking up that kill or giving it over to the Ash rather. And like I said, even with the Lee Sin in the bot side, if they go too far forward, they're gonna get punished. But so now Lee Sin has to make a play somewhere. He needs to get level 6 as soon as possible so he can get the flashy kicks and start beating people up. But OTF, okay, Force Under is hurt here. This Lux is so far ahead.
Eyesight is invading the red buff with the bot lane. Bound wants to contest and hanging it, but I don't see how they can go into this in a 4v2. Yeah, the blue goes over to Eyesight.
Yeah, they definitely could not contest that, right? Like they didn't have their bot lane around, their mid lane wasn't rotating over, but he just has to watch his blue buff get taken, and that's not good. Like I said, Lee Sin's so incredibly selfish. He wants to get his first item as fast as possible, get damage on him as fast as possible, and stay ahead of the curve. The less he's able to do that, the less likely you're going to win that game. But we just get back down here in the bot lane. CB Barbarian taking a lot of damage there. But one thing I want to highlight is the mid gap in terms of CS. Victor isn't CSing all too well, and that can be a huge issue, right? You pick Victor to CS. You pick Victor to get a lot of gold on himself so he's able to get those upgrades. And there's 2 ways of getting it. Either you get the kills or you get the CS. And Buddy, we're not looking at the CS. We're not looking at the kills. So he needs to do something quick if he wants to get all his upgrades in a timely fashion and be relevant going deeper into this laning phase or into this game. Eyesight tossing up the Swirl Seed.
Both junglers are here in bot lane. Eyesight's clearing out a ward, and I think a bounce managed to sneak in.
Absolutely.
Broncu lands onto CB. The hook comes out. Nice 2-man depth charge.
Oh.
Now Eyesight's joining the fight. XL Physiology is running. Flash in with the Q, gets a 2-man sleep. A bound goes down. Megatron gets a revenge kill. Nautilus stunned up under turret. Gets the double kill for Megatron, but Righteous takes out and gets a double kill of their own.
5-0 on this Ash, and Easton looking for the kill.
Nice combo from Easton.
That's the Lux combo at the end of the day. That's why I don't let a Lux player pick up the champion, because she's just able to do stuff like that. But, in the bot side, it was a nice little play to make it close enough to get a 3-2, but it was more of a misplay at the end from Barbarian that allowed them to get that kill rather than, playing good themselves. And you just hate to see it, right? You just don't want an Ashe to get ahead, because when an Ashe is ahead, she's really one of the most oppressive of the champions in the game, right? She's going to chase you down, deal too much damage with the slowing auto attacks, the Ws, and man, oh man, that's one of the things about picking Lee Sin. You just have to be insane on the champion. You have to be just better than the enemy to really make him work, or it just really feels so hard to play him.
Ashe already has the shield though. 5 kills in 9 minutes.
Absolutely. She's going to be so incredibly tanky with that. It does cut off the option to get Maw Malmortius, but I think if you just get GA, you do enough. But Maw also would have been very good into such an AP heavy team, but it's okay at the end of the day. They do manage to pick up this Rip Hilt. It goes down on the Eyesight, so he's going to be looking to drop it in a lane across the map. So very, very good stuff for them, and they can start to run this game a little bit harder. They are about a little bit less than 1,000, so not too great. of a goal lead, but it can grow quickly, very quickly.
Everyone is setting up around mid lane except for right. Okay, yeah. We're going for this dragon. It's 4v4. Both top laners have teleport, but it's not unleashed teleport. So use is super limited.
Not unleash. They have to teleport to those turrets, but it can still be a game-winning thing if they do it early enough, right? If they teleport into the bot lane early enough, if they teleport in the mid lane early enough, they can get down there and be there for the fight. But they're just going to instantly let this Riptail go. They're going to look to one-shot this turret. Doesn't quite find it, so the turret stays alive that little bit longer. Oh!
It does go down to the minions.
Oh, you hate to see it, but the hook lands.
Now there's the Ashe ult onto a bound. The Lily ult coming through, gets the sleep onto 2. A bound goes down first. Now Easton's joined the fight, gets the kill onto Eyesight, and it's 3 for 1.
Man, oh man. Ooh, it's a rough game coming out from the side of my mind's going blank. My mind's going blank. Help me out here.
I'm Gaming Aristocrats.
I'm Gaming Aristocrats. Thank you very much. But rough game. Really good stuff from the rivals, though. Really good stuff. They are getting all the kills exactly where they need it. Their mid lane is getting a little bit beat up here, down 2 deaths. Down 30 CS or so. The mid lane, their top lane isn't doing that much better, just not down deaths. But he's down about 30 CS. But in the bot lane, there's just absolutely smashing them. Already, like you said, already has the first item completed. Going for the Wits in. Yeah, I'm at my wits in because I can't remember anything. But wits in getting picked up for the Ashe, going for that next. I love it so much into Easton. I like it a lot into Northworth. Metatron, even though he is going for the AD build, he still does a ton of HP. Not HP, but AP damage, right? So it's a really good item to this all pretty much AP comp, but Abound still has enough damage to really look for plays, but he needs to be a lot more selective. He needs to really just make them happen, ban them, just start jamming them out, right? But he's just going back to farming right now, and Righteous picks up this mid wave.
Yeah, it feels like every time Abound has tried to join the fight in bot lane, Eyesight's been there, and the damage coming out of Eyesight so far.
They missed Ashe ult barreler
through bot lane.
I don't think it resulted in kill anyway, but this definitely will.
Well, they are going in top, and Northwood gets flipped back into death.
That was a very nice play from them. They set that up beautifully. They just waited in the top side, and they said the second Northward shows, we go on the flashless Gwen and we kill her. And that's exactly what they did. Very nice stuff. They didn't even have to use ultimates for it.
Lilia lands the Swirl Seed onto a bound, gets the Lilting Lullaby, waiting on cooldowns, gets the W in. There's the Q.
Oh,
goes wide,
but he
the burn down.
The bleed.
Eyesight gets the kill.
Very nice stuff from Eyesight right there. But he had the Red Smite ticking, had the passive ticking. Even if they missed their ultimate, it doesn't matter. They picked up a nice, clean double kill up there in the top side. And right now, the places where you want to win just aren't winning for the side of Cloud Gaming.
Ooh. Just really strong performance coming out of Eyesight right now. Really impressed after what we saw in the first game of the night. This is a good look from them. I think this is the Rivals season we were told to expect.
Absolutely. They're so good right now. They are just absolutely smacking around their opponent. And the only place where you can really kind of say they're not doing too well is the mid lane, right? They are getting out CS in the top of the lane quite heavily, but he does have the kill up to kind of equalize that. But in the mid lane, it's just an absolute gap here for Easton, doing so much damage. But even as I sing his praises, loses the flash out. You have to imagine if Ashe had the arrow, that's definitely a kill. It's the Karoza going force the flash out on the top side, does still get knocked up.
There's the Braum ult, the Gwen ult comes through. They are going in with damage. There's the Ignite, gets flipped under turret. Northward is burning down, but gets the dash out.
Very nice stuff, but look at that. Look at the Lily in the top side.
Comes through,
doesn't have ultimate.
Northward, burning down. Oh, the flash Q in from Eyesight gets the kill.
And they lost Easton's teleport too.
Yep.
That's the biggest thing. They lost his teleport. So now Lee Sin is the one forced to deal with the mid push, and they have to start walking down the long, slow, painful walk of shame. And it's just not looking good. It's like where does this Lux go? Does she take top? Does she go mid? Who's dealing with the mid waves if she's on top? So much is just lost because even though they found the kill on the top side, it wasn't onto the Gwen. It was onto Excel's psychology or physiology, and that's not where you want kills to go. You don't want any kills on a Braum. Generally not on a support unless maybe a Leona, Nautilus, Pike. You know, there are arguments, right? But
Yeah.
Braum is probably at the bottom of the list.
Yeah, he's there to proc Guardian and put up the big shield, and every once in a while get the knockup with the ult, but does not need gold to do Braum things at all.
Yeah, he's not. It's not important to get gold on him, even though he does look to be building the Locket of Iron Solari, which would be nice. It's not required, and I think he should have rushed the item first instead of going for boots. But there's a conversation to be had about supports builds and build path and all that fun stuff that maybe just a little bit too long-winded to get into now as they get spun out by the Ash Hot Shot. 18 seconds on this Drake, and one thing we haven't talked about a lot is that Hawk Shot just so much to control vision, right? It just gives you so much pick potential, especially potentially here on XL.
Physiology gets caught out. There's the Swirl Seed.
That's
Here
the
comes the
ultimate.
lilting Lullaby. They're going for the kill on to Braum. The shield goes up, and Righteous goes godlike.
Very good stuff. That is 7-0 on the Ash, and they didn't even need to use their ultimate yet, so all they can do in return is just to kind of get that play in return. The Rift Hilt, the Ash ultimate goes wide. Wasn't really sure what the idea was, but I respect the attempt. Maybe they're trying to steal, but Ash ultimate not known to take objectives like a Jinx.
Yeah, it was even as a scouting ult, that was a bit off.
Yeah.
Looks like we're going for a fight here. CB gets caught out. There's the final spark. The Lee Sin kick gets him out of danger. Goes for the hook back in. Damage comes through from Eyesight. Here comes the teleport from OTFF. Now the clowns are running away. Northward drops the shroud. Lily is diving in. Eyesight gets tagged by the Lee Sin Q. There's the Gore Drinker for a bit of heal. Now there's a stopwatch, and Lilia is just dancing around the Swirl Seed goes wide. There's the W. Northward gets the shutdown onto him, and now
the exhaust comes out.
There's the Kaisa ult, but damage isn't enough. Easton gets 1,000 gold fat shutdown from Righteous.
And I think Easton has enough skill to win this.
Me too. The Victor ult comes down. Now Braum jumps in. The Urgot ult devours Easton, and Physiology jumps in for good measure. And it's an ace for Rivals.
Very good stuff. Even though Lux did shut down the Ash, they got shut down completely in terms of the team fight, right? OTF was able to clean up with Sakroza right there, picking up 2 kills for himself. And, you know, now they're in a really good spot across the board. Before, it was really just more concentrated on the Ash. Everybody else was kind of supporting piece. Now everybody has their own part to play. Everybody is in this game, locked in, engaged for the side of the Rivals. And Clown Gaming, they just aren't playing to their full potential of their composition. They're just getting hit by too many Swirl Seas from too far away. And those ultimates are just so impactful coming out from Eyesight.
They are starting to get their items, though. You can see some of the power from these picks. The Gwen hasn't had that much of a chance to shine, but she has completed the Rift Maker, working her way up towards that Nashor's Tooth. And she's gonna pump out a good amount of damage once she gets that too.
Eyesight.
Lee Sin comes in with the second part of the Q, but kicks Eyesight out to safety. Now they're chasing down CB. Righteous takes out Easton meanwhile. Now there's the depth charge going onto Megatron. The damage coming out from OTFF. The Lilia ult puts them to sleep, but they don't even have a chance to complete before they die.
They didn't need to sleep there, and it didn't matter. They were able to just find so much. Even though Eyesight Outbound found the Q on the Eyesight, not quite sure why he took it. You know, they just didn't have any follow-up. If he didn't one-shot him with that Q, with the kick, with the damage, they weren't able to take the fight. They weren't going to be able to take the fight afterwards. And with Easton missing the ultimate, Buddy was just able to survive, walk away from it. And now the play's dead. You have to retreat, but they chose not to retreat. They chose to keep taking the fight. And then Easton got just run down by Righteous. Everybody else comes in with the flank with the teleport from Sakroza. And, you know, so they don't lose too much off of it with the, a lot of damage. But they don't lose too much off of it with the Drake spawning for another 2 minutes. But Buddy, Yeah, it's not looking good for the sound of Clown Gaming. They are down about 9,000 at the current time, 20 minutes in, and that's a really rough spot to be in.
That's where you see the plays Abound is trying to make. If they're not down 9,000 gold, and they were down less than 9,000 before that fight. If they weren't down 9,000 gold, maybe the damage would be enough out of this Lee Sin to get the kill on Eyesight and make that team fight work. But being down, it's just not happening.
Absolutely. So now what do? They do manage to take a little bit of gold back into their favor. Split that objective bounty between multiple members. Use the Rift Herald effectively to take the tier 1, but you don't have a lot of pressure going into this 50 seconds setup on the Drake. Everybody needs to reset now. If they haven't reset, this could be a huge issue. You guys need to reset now on multiple members. Your entire team needs to reset. And the fact that they haven't, geez, this could be a really bad thing. Did you manage to get the reset out for Easton? Kinda. The only person to reset, the only person to spend a little bit of gold, but everybody else is getting completely pressured.
Now Northward's in trouble. The hook goes wide. Northward does have to pop the ghost.
Megatron, taking 3 years to complete this buff, finally picks up for himself, but took half his HP in damage. He will get able to refund that with the red buff, but buddy, they're gonna be face checking.
Flash in by Eyesight for a beautiful 3-man Q.
He didn't even
doesn't even need to come in.
They didn't even need to ult with the Lilia. They just have the Lilia on the bot side alone, picking up that Drake. And buddy, they are just absolutely smurfing out here from the rivals. A completely different game than what we saw, in the first one, right? First they kind of got beat up a little bit, but now they're absolutely doing so much work across the board. Their team is just beating up Clown Gaming right now, and they're gonna try and ult the wave just to get a little bit of pressure, but they still lose it nonetheless. It's gonna be a kick.
Gets caught with the Lux binding under tower. It's trying to walk out. Does get the flash over the wall. Abound gets the kill.
Abound, nice little kill there. Nice little kick back into the team. They are able to pick that up. But that's a consolation prize at the end of the day. It's just a support for losing an inhibitor mid turret, losing the Drake, losing 2 kills, right? It's a little bit of a consolation prize, a little bit of a reward, as some might say. So not the greatest thing in the world, and now they need to control their vision really well in the top side. It's about 50-50 split for both teams, but with Easton going out to clear this control ward, a lot less so.
Baron feels like it's really going to be the name of the game in the next. Rivals should be going back soon, resetting, spending their gold, buying up their. I expect to see them all head up towards the top side, other than maybe sending the Urgot bot lane.
Yeah, about 9,300 gold advantage for them. They are absolutely stomping their opponents, but they can throw the game off this if their vision control isn't on point. They need to be able to walk in, grab the vision away from their opponents, and they'll be able to start looking to do something as psychology, or physiology rather. Sees that Sarkozy is right there, and it's going to be the Ash Arrow.
Crystal Arrow comes in, so does the Swirl Seed. The Braum Shield is up, gets the slow. Physiology does get put to sleep, has to flash out. Urgot flips him back, and that's Righteous getting the kill.
That's the one kill they need to blow open the map, blow open the game. Now they don't even need to control vision. They can look to in, but if they want to keep it slow, keep it similarly paced to an LCK game, they just go for the Baron here. But they just look to be going for the inhibitor. That's going to be the play.
Going in. CB is zoning them off. Looks like they are backing out towards the Baron. Okay.
Take the inhibitor, back out towards Baron, reset, get onto a side of the map, either go for the top mid, go for the bot mid push, and look to reset towards that. I think they go for the bot mid push here because the Drake is going to be spawning about 2 minutes and 30 seconds. So if they're able to take inhibitors off of that, turrets off of that, and then go directly towards that Baron, or Dragon rather, it will be a huge little advantage for themselves. But it's not even close to being contested. So even though that they're walking in here from Clown Gaming, they're not going to be able to do anything at the end of the day.
Luxalt does stop the back from CB. They're looking for it. Braum Q tags CB. The slow zone from Victor. The Lee Sin Q lands, but the flash out from OTFF. The Victor ult comes through. Enchanted Crystal Arrow tags XL. There's the Kai'Sa ult in from Megatron. Lilia Q from
Oh,
Eyesight doing so
guys.
much damage. Easton goes down and Urgot just churns Megatron.
And that could be the game. I think that's the game. I mean, they just threw the fight completely on a hair. I like the idea of chasing away Barbarian, but there comes a time when you kind of have to just stop chasing, right? They've already all reset. They're going to be back onto the map soon, and they have long range ultimates to negate yours. And especially since you canceled Victor's back, you have to realize that there are two people who can stall for quite a long time. That's Victor's main thing. He stalls. Same thing with the Nautilus. They stall out fights and make it so hard for you to do anything.
Rich trying to defend, but gets taken out by Eyesight under the turret.
That's it. That's GG. That's gonna be Rivals picking up a dub here. Oh, but they are keeping it pretty
throwing out some
close.
damage. Health bars are going low, but I think the next
Yeah,
goes down.
talk about throwing
Yeah.
out damage. Righteous 16-1 on the Ash. Absolutely smurfed this game.
Ooh.
Oh,
Yeah,
man.
triple kill at the end for Righteous. 16, 1, and 10. Absolutely
it
just
look
monster performance.
Easy. Making it look so incredibly easy. You love to see it.
Oh, wow. Well, GG's to both of these teams, and honestly, all 12 of the teams we had tonight.
Yeah,
Uh,
absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah, that was really well played from Rebels. I want to see how they bounce back um against who did they lose to first?
IG.
IG. Yeah, I want to see how they bounce back against IG. Um, I think it was really good their game plan, but they just didn't have the execution necessary to do it. So they really just need to go back, look at the game plan, point out places where they could have played it better, and then they can win a lot more games like that. So either way, good job to Rivals. Good job to all the teams who came out to play. And we'll get back to you guys with the seeding once all the matches are done.
Yeah, I'm really psyched for playoffs to start next week. A lot of
Oh,
these
me
teams
too.
look good. The matchups are going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, they're gonna be great. I can't wait for them. I really can't wait for them. I really want to see some of these teams go against each other. Most importantly, I'm just kind of looking at Imperial Gaming.
But with that, we are going to call it a night. Thank you for coming out, all the viewers, all the teams. Thank you, Arlan and Caddy.